been working on for like a year now.
Yeah. Hey. Oh. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Or at least I do.
Okay. Yeah. So this is strawberry jam in TAS. So well, maybe we'll wait until 6 p.m. to start.
All right, so I guess while we're waiting, I guess I should explain a little bit. So if you remember a couple months back, during in February, we had the strawberry jam, all levels TAS, the normal one. But this one is like that, but it's trying to minimize the amount of dashes you use throughout all 100 something levels. I know that's
122.
yeah, 121.
22 with Prologue, technically.
I'll lower my voice. I can do that. How do I do that again? I remember how to do that again.
I don't know.
All right. So, is this better, everyone? A little quieter.
Why?
Cool. All right. So yeah, calling 15 dashes. I don't know about that. That feels a little low, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
But yeah, it's just it's not really a whole lot to explain besides just like this took a while to make, not only just because there's a lot to do, a lot of levels, but also because some levels are easier to do with minimum dashes than others. And there's always the fact that you need to improve them. Improve them in time or maybe in dashes or whatever. So there's a lot of work going on.
Yeah, if I can give a bit more of info, the project was started in June 2023, and the public of the server was made in November, so almost a year ago. And the last level was drafted something like 2 months ago.
Yeah, like a month
It was
or two.
Kevin Texpan. Yeah.
Yeah.
And since then, we've been doing a lot of improvements over the levels. And yeah, finally, the showcase.
Beginner is 22 levels, including Heartside. So
Yes.
it's still like 40-50 minutes long though, so we still get quite a lot of content here. A lot of interesting strats here because beginner has easy layouts, but it also has, cool tricks. So don't you worry. So at least 22 dashes. Yeah.
At least.
At least 22. But yeah, we're gonna start here.
Well, if I can give a bit more info, this this task, of course, is any percent, so we don't collect the berries or anything. And we use the restricted rule set, so we can't stun any hazards, spinners or lightning, and we don't freeze either.
Yeah, so this is the more like common minimum dashes you might see in like TASs or whatever. The main point is just to try and get through the levels with the cool tricks that are normally used to save dashes and like movement. All right. I don't know if there's any more like very specific info we need to give besides, I guess, ourselves. So real quick, I joined this project like a year ago, like not like a few months after it started. And my first draft was Summit because no one did it, and I thought, hey, that was probably pretty easy start. It's GM, but it's also like vanilla, so I was like, yeah, I'd do that one, and I kind of just kept going with it, and now I'm the second admin of the project.
Yeah. I joined, of course, the project since it started, and I drafted. My first map was Loopy Lagoon, I think. It was really bad because I just started TASing, and I've drafted since a lot of beginner maps, like half of them, I think, maybe more,
Yeah,
and some other maps in advanced and lobbies. And I did a lot of lobby routing too. So beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert. It
Mike
was a
just
lot of fun.
Mike just asked, was this started at SJ release? I don't think it was, but I don't. I'm not entirely familiar.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. All
So
right.
yeah, we can go, I think.
Yeah. All right. Three.
Should we start?
Let's start counting down.
Two.
Two,
Okay.
3, 2,
Oh, let's go
1.
again. Okay. One.
Just
Okay,
no,
we go again.
just
Okay. Three.
okay. Count 2. Yeah, I
Just
don't think this
what?
is gonna work. Just start. Just start.
Start the thing.
What? Huh?
What is going on? Hmm. I love that. Oh no, breakpoints. Oh,
Oh no. The Loopy Lagoon that sends you to intermission. True.
no way. Where is the breakpoint? Oh, damn.
Breakpoint. Yeah. Breakpoint's jump scare.
So what? So yeah, I just want to say that, as you have probably noticed, I'm French, so my accent is bad. So if you want me to repeat something you didn't understand, ask me, please. Wow. Are we good?
I think we're good. Hopefully that breakpoint wasn't something in the levels that are sped up, because that would be annoying.
Oh yeah. Okay, so please just count, just you.
I'll just
Who's
count,
the
yeah. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pew.
and you?
Yeah.
Oh, it works.
All right. So prologue. Not really a whole lot to say here. There's a couple of dashes used at the start, just to break blocks, and that's it. Not really a whole lot going on here. Just some good movement. Enjoy the
There's
nice scenery
also
though.
delayed.
Yeah, delayed ultra from an earlier block breaking. But yeah, just enjoy the pretty scenery. It looks nice. Yeah, we don't really need the dash counter. I mean, we could have it, but it's not really a big deal. We could always just like turn it on after, and then join a random lobby and show you what the final is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd still prefer it, but
So
it's not really a big deal. Loopy Lagoon. The first one, I guess. First of many.
yeah, and as you have probably seen, we can jump on the blocks because of the order of operations, and we can even get Coyote. So later we will use that to do a bubble hyper out of a block with spikes on top. So that was
Yeah.
pretty sick, Dave. Thanks to Creepy at the end, I think.
Yeah. There's still quite a few dashes because there's there's just getting to places, but then there's also the fact that the blocks have the push thing where you dash into it and you get good lift boost out of it. So sometimes you just kind of have to dash anyways, but there are some cool skips to skip some of them, like that ceiling pop while the block is moving. You just saw that was cool. But yeah, not like too crazy for min dash standards, but still, just a cool little showcase of what's to come.
It has been improved a lot since the first draft. I think minus 10 dashes or something. Mainly because the first draft was bad, but I find it cool.
Yeah, everyone's first TAS is probably going to be rough, so just be happy you started this because, like, you led to this.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
All right, first level done. A lot more to go.
Oh.
Forest Path, the level where you have the thing that makes you dash. Again.
Yeah. Although first use of water. Oh no, there was some in Prologue. But
Yeah.
with water, you can abuse the hitboxes to jump on every single frame. That's called water boosting, and it gives a lot of speed. It's really useful in min dash.
Yeah, and in this level you have the dream crystals that allow you to dash through solid tiles. In a couple places here, you see us smuggling one out because that allows us to save time or maybe even dash with an alternate route. But sometimes we're just gonna avoid using it altogether, even if we have it, and just kind of use it as a normal dash, just because, no reason to. So this is another level with a lot of force dashes, just because you kind of have to use these. There are some cool movement to avoid using them, but sometimes it's just I can't really do that. Basically.
Yeah.
So not like too crazy, but
It's still really nice.
Zerk Caverns.
Well,
This one had a dash save like a few days ago.
Yeah, one of the last dash saves.
Yeah,
And
so
it's probably one of the most optimized levels, I think.
yeah, the water you can still jump on it. Like technically it kills you, but the water hitbox is slightly higher. Or no, not necessarily slightly higher, but you can jump slightly higher than the water hitbox. It looks like you can, if that makes sense. So you can jump on the water without ever having to glide with the death hitbox.
Here the weird lobby movement, it was to unlock the bench to warp back to the herd side after we have done all of the levels.
If my drive volumes did you end the funny level, funny name. This level looks about what you expect. It's a lot of lift boosting. Get a lot of lift boost for speed, and abuse that to skip dashes. Also, it just kind of looks cool. Look at this. Look at this movement. It's so nice. Look at that bubble delayed ultra. Bubble delayed ultra. Yeah, so it's just generally really good like movement and skips. Looks pretty cool. like that one point where you like literally go in the middle of the spinner circle, and you're like, yeah, another level with not too crazy tree height. You got these dream blocks
Well,
that
we
push you
have
back.
another dream.
This was the final level
Also,
drafted in beginner, the final beginner level. I was the one that did this because I was like, no one's doing this, so I might as well do it, I guess. Still some pretty cool skips though.
I thought it was a gift from the stars.
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was this, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, that warp actually skips a dash. It skips you having to dash into that first drain block. So yeah, most of the time the dashes are mainly used just to get a good position out of the drain block, so you can skip one or more. But there's not really a whole much you could really do besides that. Look at this cool speed you get from it. That was actually taken from the any percent TAS because it does something pretty similar. But this one minimizes dashes too, so it's cool. Some of these skips are actually any percent stuff. You get a good lift boost out of that. Demo up through here, and then you're at the end. So yeah, not like so somewhat like you'd expect, but still some pretty cool movement. A lot of it from any percent. Oh, the tree hive was last. I don't really know why it was. I think the person who said they wanted to do it didn't ever actually end up starting it. So it was just kind of in limbo for a while.
Oh, maybe. Oh, Rose Garden.
I remember.
This one is... Well,
Alright, so yeah, this is the first level that will introduce jelly laddering. Not that these are jellies, but they have the same physics, so you can still do laddering. So yeah, if you have 2 or more jellies, usually 2, or anything that acts similar, you can juggle them at the same time and get basically infinite height. So long as you can actually move around to avoid getting hit by obstacles. But at the start, there's not really a whole lot to do that. But now we're gonna leave this room with this bros come back, and we have 2, and now we can do this. So yeah, this is one of the more powerful dash min dash techniques because, I mean, when you literally have the thing that gives you infinite height in a category where height is really precious, it's like, whoa, I need this.
yeah.
True, yeah, they're not exactly the same physics, but still. Go on.
Sadly, this level is really close to being 0 dashes, but we'll be forced to dash onto the hurt at the end because jellies cannot collect the hurt, so it's one dash.
Yeah. Jellies or anything with similar physics can't collect the hearts because they're not heavy holdables like Theo crystals, so the next best thing we can do is just take the heart dash, which sucks, but oh well. Although if there was an update that would change that, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the squeeze is another level that's like that, but that doesn't have any holdables in the first place, so the squeeze is just like kind of like 1A in a way, where it's, I don't know if it was specifically designed to be played in dash, but it's not even that difficult in comparison to some of the other levels in this game to do without dashing. So maybe it was assigned with that philosophy. I don't know. That's just I guess. So yeah. Anyways, we're on. I always forget this level's name.
Switch to Vista.
Switch to Vista. I don't know why I always forget that. So
it has a funny trick, which is called grab pipe entry, and it allows you to enter a clear pipe without dashing.
Yeah,
I don't remember how it works exactly.
Yeah, this was discovered like a couple months ago. Basically, if you hold the dash button and the grab button at the same time when you're grabbing a pipe, it the tube thinks you're dashing, but you don't actually dash because you're grabbing the pipe and you start the cutscene. So you don't actually ever enter the dash state, so it doesn't ever increase the dash counter. But it still thinks you dashed into the pipe, so you can go through it. This saves a lot of dashes in any level with the tube, but especially this one because it's the entire level's like concept of having the tubes. So it's pretty funny. Also, another thing about these tubes is similar to similar to dream blocks. You can double jump out of them because you can jump out of the pipe without using coyote frames, but then you get the coyote frames after jumping. So sometimes that's used to get some extra speed. Does that trick still work with Prologue inventory? I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I'd imagine probably not, but welcome to try it.
No, I don't think it works. I tried once with no dashes, and you have to grab a refill to, well, enter the pipe. It doesn't work.
Yeah, probably not then. Since Prologue inventory is basically, then you cannot dash. So maybe not. Yeah. Alright. But yeah, there's not like a whole lot to really say about movement, besides just a lot of there was that. There's the 5-tile. You can do that without crouching if you have good subpixel position in horizontal and vertical. So that's cool. But besides that, it's like, yeah. There are some levels, like especially in later lobbies, that have generally really cool and complex movement, but beginner is kind of what you'd expect. Some cool stuff like the switch tube skips, but besides that, just yeah. Alright, this level is not interesting because this is dashless already. So this is basically just the any percent TAS, but again, I don't even know if we updated this TAS at all, actually. Like to include some of the.
No, I don't think.
I don't think we included any of the any percent time saves ever because we kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, I did. We implemented them.
All right.
There was once time save.
Yeah. All right. So. Yeah, there's nothing really to say about this level. It's literally kind of like this already. 90% cool movement, but if you see the original showcase for the normal 90%, you'll you know, you kind of already get what that's going. So yeah, this level has
Collapsing
blocks.
skyline.
Yeah, collapsing skyline. This has spot blocks. So there's some cool movement to skip dashes for them, but also sometimes you need to dash anyways. Look at that. That was cool though. Look. The lift boost height.
Crouch climb. Yeah.
Yeah, spike climb. I don't know if that's our first instance of it, but that was a pretty cool example of it work.
Oh, maybe.
So yeah, if you have a little bit of speed, moving out of the spike, you can climb while interacting with the spike hitbox without actually dying. I'm assuming spinner stunning is not allowed. No, that's semi-restricted. This is just restricted. Gift for the Stars, that semi-min dash level. Of course, it has dashes, but you know what I mean. It's a core mode.
It was a headache to route this level, truly. I had a rough time.
Oh yeah, this level is a lot, but at least there's a death ward here that's from 90%, so you know it helps.
And here we'll juggle the time crystal in the next room, so we can skip pretty much every single room from now on.
Yeah, if you grab the time crystal at the right time, you can stop the thing at the right time where both of them are still open, uh, which is like a lifesaver. You don't have to go through the entire like puzzle. This part's kind of cool. Final room.
Yeah,
Crouch jump to
demo
the
jump.
crouch jump or lift boost with the moving block, and then crouch jump to the spinners. Like that's cool. All right, and then we're done. Freeze is hard to explain, but basically, if you wait like 118 hours, the spinners and electricity and whatnot will 2/3 of them will stop working. They won't have glidable hitboxes for forever, actually, and one group of spinners and electricity will still have glidable hitboxes. So basically, you can go through everything.
Troposphere. The weird movement you've seen at the start of some rooms, where we get close to a bino and just jump, it's used to cancel the animation when we enter a new room with paddling.
Yeah.
So it looks like it loses time, but actually it saves a lot.
Yeah, it's called Bino Interaction Storage. Basically, it just sets Madeline's state when you enter a room to the normal state. This is also used in a lot of other places and in many other TASs. But I think this is probably one of its best uses. But another use is like it can cancel Gultras basically, and you get you back your normal state. So it's another way to get Gultra cancel, which can be helpful for speed. But the main thing it's used here is just although there is this thing here, Bino stacking. This was found a month ago. Bino extensions. So basically, the Bino, after a certain range, when you move it up, will do that other version of it where it'll fade out back to where you are, but you can avoid that from happening if you cancel the Bino and then interact with it again, because then it'll set that new camera target, which is well above where you are, as the starting point, and you can move the same distance, which is further than that you were at in the first place. So if you do that like multiple times, you'll get very high, but you won't ever get the fade out. You'll get the normal one that scrolls down. So if you can do that, then you'll have the spinners right next to you, like unloaded still for a longer time than normal. And if you do that here, you did that there, and then you can like avoid ever hitting the spinners, so you won't die. Pretty cool.
Yeah, but I think it's the only place where it's used in the whole lobbies, the 5 lobbies.
Yeah, it can be done like anywhere technically, but there's not a whole lot of places that have geometry that allows it. That room is just so goddamn tall that it's just like, we can do it here.
Yeah. Or water movements. This was hell to do.
Yeah, because dashless water movement is analog based, like feathers, except it's worse than feathers.
Oh, by the way, this spike climb was rounding error, I think.
V, but in Celeste. Good level. Awesome level. I love this level.
Yeah, one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, we got quite a lot of cool movement here. It's kind of cycle based because it's based off of the game V6 or VVVVV, however you want to say it. Doesn't really matter. We got that cool death warp by moving into the spike. Saves us some movement.
Kevin.
We did that movement in that room to hit the teleporter.
We actually do the dashless section dashless. For
yeah,
once.
There's no reason to get the dash when the entire point is to not dash. That just wastes time. Because we'd be getting it, and then we're like, oh, we don't need this actually. So yeah, we just go through this normally with the Prologue inventory. So you'll see that's kind of the intended way to do that room. We got this cool skip. Look at this. We go into the secret room.
and we
do
it backward.
You get the secret
We do
room.
that because to get to the teleporter, you have to dash. It's too high otherwise. So it lost 2,000 frames just for one day, but that's neat.
Yeah, so it's just like, I need to dash into the teleporter. All right, bet. What if I just go through this thing without dashing again? And then we have this thing. This is gonna happen in a couple of places. It's called the Everest soft lock. Soft lock failsafe. So Everest has a built-in failsafe for when you enter a transition in a way where you get stuck. So after like a couple of frames where it's like you're stuck, you can't move, it just sets you back to your default spawn point as if you loaded into that room. So it resets a lot of things. It's a lot more powerful than like a death warp. But since we have to have Everest loaded anyways, it's totally fair game for anything that is modded, including this this mod. Yeah, we got some cool movement, a lot of spike lines because there's a lot of spikes. And we went through every single challenge, so now we can go and continue through at this.
Do fight.
The final room.
Oh. This spike climb was beautiful.
Yeah, we also got that coyote crouch jump into that little gap. That's cool.
Yeah, we used lift boost too to get away from the wall faster and not die to the spikes.
Yeah. The point of everything entering the ending, I don't think there was a point to it. I think it was just funny movement waiting for the thing. Anyways, we got the squeeze. This one is no dash except for heart, but still kind of what you expect. We got a lot of really cool optimized movement trying to get to the gaps, but usually there's a way to do this without any of the unnecessarily extravagant fast movement. Like this level has been done RTA 0 dash by you, I think, Ratatouy.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much like drop the, but the level has zip movers instead of Kevin's.
Yeah, actually. But yeah, not too crazy, but you know, still got one dash for the heart. Is it optimized or is it optimized? It's optimized in dashes. You can't get any better than that. But in time, there might still be quite a bit of time save left. There always is. There's always time save to find. You just need to find it. Strawberry Orchard. This level is cool, especially in Mindash. Got the pipes again, so we're gonna abuse that mechanic a couple of times, or I think maybe like 1 or 2 times, but still.
Well, here, at least.
Yeah, there at least. So we got Theo Crystal. And Theo Crystal makes this level very interesting because you not only have to optimize dashes, but you also have to optimize the Theo Crystal itself to make sure it can get you to places. And we're gonna use quite a few Theo mechanics to get us to where we need to go. This level has had quite a few interesting dash saves throughout its time. This level is already very optimized. I don't think you can really get lower than what we have now.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, look at that right there. The thing we just did was we got really good positioning, and then we got Theo. We jumped into Theo, so we got some height from that. But then we also like let go of Theo and interacted with him again, because that if you do that, the Theo resets your vertical height or the vertical speed to 0 if you're falling. So that allows you to start falling slower, which gets you some more height. I didn't really explain that very well, but I'm guessing you kind of know what I mean. You see it a couple times here because it's just a really good tool that allows you to get some extra, get a little further without just falling straight into spikes. Weird overhang, yeah. Yeah, a lot of really cool movement. Look at that. You got some speed
Yeah.
into a corner boost with the Theo. And then, because it's Theo, you break the heart. No need to dash into it.
Yay. Oh, paint.
Paints. This level is a nightmare to
This
do.
level is it's incredible, but it's hard to resynchronize because it's based on cycles. And when you well do a dash save or move the timing of one room, every room will be desynchronized.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's an incredible level with probably the most beautiful looking one in all of SJ. Definitely one of the most incredible looking. But God, tasking it is so annoying.
yeah.
No matter which category you do. But in Min Dash, it's
But it
very
has
much
a
true.
lot of schemes.
It still has a lot of cool scopes, yeah. Look at that. Look at that cool light wall boost. So yeah, a lot of the movement here is just kind of avoiding the obstacles, hitting the things, which all cause dashes. So, oh no. Oh well. But sometimes you don't even need to do that. You can just kind of skip them like you did right there with good movement. Yeah. This music is one of the best songs in the entire mod though. Like, it's such a vibe. Which makes it even more annoying because this level kind of sucks at TAS because it's like, oh, I'm jamming out, but then, oh no, I'm angry. It's like, I don't know which one to feel. That is kind of taken. That strategy you just saw was kind of taken from the 80% TAS, but still, it looks cool. You get a lot of lift boosted speed from that block, and then you can kind of crouch Coyote through the spinners in the next room. And now we're at the second part of the level. The one where you have 2 dashes. You know, after we see this little cutscene. Public transportation. So cool. But yeah, now we're in the flags. The 2 dash segment. It's still about what you expect. Look at that. Hanging on for dear life with the spinner there. That's normal.
Yeah, the spinner is actually offset, so we don't need to manage the grab.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. I haven't seen these TASs normally in a while. I usually kind of only really watch them when I see something that's like awesome or if I just feel like it. So it's kind of neat re-experiencing all of them after not really watching because I've been mostly just like spectating the project and doing my own things. So it's cool. I still know what's going on, but like still. Yeah, that speed chain is really cool.
Yeah, staircases have funny physics where you can pretty much just spam corner boosts or jumps on them and get a lot of speed dashless.
Yeah,
That's really
and
useful.
if you have good positioning, you can even like culture cancel. With
Oh
retain
wow,
speed.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you can like gold trip, but then you get retain speed because you have retain speed. If you hyper there, it won't set your speed to the hyper speed. You'll still have this ultra speed, and then you'll no longer have retain after you hyper. So you'll have the speed, but you'll be in hyper. So that allows you to get a lot of speed. I know that's used in 80%. And then we have this level. This level is like, again, this is another one where it's about what you'd expect. Some cool like skips, some cool movement like right there with the spiked wall boosts.
It has one of the lowest dash count actually, like 2 or 3 dashes in total.
Yeah, it's not quite at like the dash optimal speed, because there's still that, but still some pretty cool movement. Got that spiked clip boost. And then we death warp right there to avoid it being in ice mode. So we can still use the lava boost. Is that a 4x2? I think it was, yeah. Fast water. Now we're on Dropsel.
Dropsel. The level, it was improved once, I think, since it was drafted, just because it's so straightforward. Just go into the hole and skip the hole.
Yeah, there is this room where you still kind of have to do it normally. Because the Kevin's blocked the way. Of course, you don't have to actually solve the puzzle, but still, you gotta at least move. You got that cool thing right there to get a good speed over the cap. And then you still have these coins to get. So that's like 2 rooms you have to actually do, somewhat. Got a lot of really cool movement there. You see, you can get on the Kevin and still get like good positioning to jump into the coins, and that's still pixel perfect. So that takes really good positioning to happen, really good positioning and speed, but it can be done.
Yeah,
and we have
with lift boost. And with lift boost, it's hard. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Soap. This level's cool. Pretty much every entity in this level is core-ish, so it doesn't give you your dash back. So springs and bubbles mainly, they don't give you your dash back. So it's just about like good movement and make sure you know what to do with the dashes you still have or getting dashes, whatever. I got that cool Bino clip.
And it has this Dave, which is one of the most incredible Daves from Tyran, I think.
Yeah, it was Tyran. Basically, what's happening is using a bubble to get a Dultra, and then keeping that for a while to do like an entire strat where you get a ton of speed with that Dultra, and then you kind of skip like an entire like dash. So it takes a while to set up, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because bubbles still give you like delayed ultras. So, and then we have that casual 3 tile into 1x3. You know, pretty normal. Basically 6 tile, yay. But yeah, this level is like, even if it's kind of normal movement, not really, but kind of, it still looks pretty cool to watch. Because it's just like, oh, something about this level looks fun. It is fun. Got a couple of instances where you're using those spiked tiles, like jump throughs, to stop your movement or continue your movement. Get some height. How do you keep the Delta? So pixel move to not hit the floor? Yeah, basically. It's basically just doing that for a while, making sure you never actually hit the floor. It's not too hard because you'll know when you actually ultra boost. So it's just avoiding that. Seeing is believing. There's literally not much to say whatsoever with this level. It'd be cool if it was like invisible, but that's slow, so we're not doing that. So we're just gonna kind of go through the level. We're gonna cheat. Are some cool movement though, mostly for time's sake, but still.
I think, along with Azure Caverns, it might be one of the most optimized levels, even for time, just because it's so short.
Yeah, short, and there's not really a whole lot going on. There's that cool thing right there where you corner boost into the wow, my brain just stopped working. Whatever, it's fine. You know what I'm talking about. Cassette cliffs. This level's pretty interesting. We got cassette cassette movement. Cassette cycles we gotta think about, and you also get some cool ways to get lift boosts with that with cassettes because of the cassette zips. Cassette zippers. Death Warp here skips having to go through an entire section. You get the key. Meow. Meow. It's so silly. So not like a whole lot of like whoa kind of movement, but still, you know, cool. Got a cool water boost there. Look at that. And then we also have that cool movement to get us a Death Warp all the way over here. And then we have the key. Now we're done with this room. Dashless water movement into water boost.
And yet what we used here to kill our momentum and go back to the previous room, it was the wall boost of the block when we did the multi-boost.
Yeah. You can keep wall boost timer into room transitions, and then you can still do the wall boost. So that's helpful in stuff like this where you need to cancel all your speed and then instantly turn back. As long as you have a way to keep that wall boost timer for wall boost as long as possible. At least optimizing this map for time is easier since it's a lot of cycles. Yeah, true. But there still are quite a couple times you can skip cycles, so. Midnight Spire. Got this 5 tile right at the start.
It's actually a bit harder than a 5 tile because we are the ground is quite close to the ceiling, so we have to manip a bit.
Yeah, and we also have the spike climb right after. So it's something you gotta kind of note of, but still, 5 tile. There's quite a lot of spike climbs in this level. Some levels just have.
And we can abuse moon blocks.
Yeah, we can abuse moon blocks because there are there are some frames where when it moves up, you can jump on it, like on the spikes without actually dying. So sometimes it's used. There's also that thing right there where you use the edge of the screen to your advantage. You also got that right there. This is a any percent strat that we ported over because it's really helpful here, where you can abuse the camera, like a camera trigger, and keep you basically off the screen for as long as possible, which allows you to skip through spinners. Something real quick I want to mention about spinners, since even though we can't stun, there are some times where spinner cycles are still important to think about. Because sometimes the spinner cycles are used for unloading spinners. Make sure they don't like load at the wrong time when you're trying to go fast. So sometimes you still need to be aware of that. There's no stunning, but sometimes it's just like, oh, they're loaded. But yeah, we completed every single main level, and now we're on the hard side. Tide's rising. Don't miss the sunset.
Only 40 minutes in. It was quite fast.
Got a dashless water movement. Got a cool water boost, and now we're in the first flag.
A lot of cool multi-boosts here. I love this flag.
Yeah. If you kind of already remember what we talked about with each level, you know what the gimmicks are, so not really reasons to say that. But there are some really cool hard side specific skips, like right there with the Zerg Cabins. And right there with that wall boost in Troposphere. Generally, the main thing you're going to see in hard side to save time and dashes is just abusing the mechanics of the levels. Nothing really like interconnectory. I said that weirdly, but I think you know what I mean. Like, you don't really have like one thing and one flag affecting another flag. You get invisible, seeing is believing, so it's a lot harder to see what's going on, but basically we're just gonna ignore battle and then we get this huge flip boost. You know, normal. There is that weird thing right there with the camera. and the squeeze flag. It's because we did a skip. It skips a camera trigger, so we just kind of hang in there for a moment out of the screen. All right. Get some good a couple of water boosts in that part, and corner boosts. There's that cool thing right there where you neutral into DCP. Tree Hive. You can skip through the entire puzzle by doing that thing, and then you also have this right there where you can just go to the side, avoid having to do all the wall bounces. Then you have that wall boost into corner boost chain and ceiling pops. So yeah, we're almost done. It's kind of weird, and almost done with beginner, at least.
Yeah, still 4 lobbies to go.
Yeah, not really a whole lot to say about this level, to be honest. Not that there aren't cool skips, but it's just like we kind of already explained what happens with the skips. So it's just, you know, nice to watch. There are some hard sides. Sorry.
I wanted to say that in this room, technically, you can juggle a double dash, but it's useless because the objective is to not dash. And we looked if it could save more, because we could theoretically keep places with double dash. But no, it's useless, sadly.
Yeah, no reason to do the DTS or UDF warp in this flag. Just keep with the inventory you have now. No reason. Now in Rose Garden, we can still leave this room, so we can still get the other rose, and then we can still rose ladder.
Yeah, and we'll keep that one for quite a while, I think.
Yeah, because we have two, might as well use both. And we have these two together. Big ol' ladder. What game is this? I don't know, Minecraft or something.
And here we can keep the flower, because we are not supposed to know how to jelly ladder in beginner. So we can just keep it in the next flags and skip the rooms.
Yeah, and then we get rid of it here because we're going to be losing it in a couple like 2 rooms anyway, so might as well just get rid of it there for time. Got the dashless flag, so it's just cool any percent movement. And we got switch tube flag. Same thing with the level itself. We got the dashless pipe enters. And pretty cool movement and like spike climbs. Like right there, that's cool.
I love spike climbs.
Yeah, spike climbs are so silly. So silly to watch.
And here we stall a bit for time, so we can get crouch on the block and actually just use the bubble to reach a spring, because it places us 2 pixels higher in the bubble, and it allows us to, well, reach a spring without dashing. That's neat.
Yeah. Drop soul flag. And then we have the cassette. Or not the cassette, the cycle flags back to back. Pretty funny movement to do that. Got a death warp here because it's faster, and also I think it saves the dash anyways.
Last flag.
Got some pretty cool. You got a cool up demo there. Up demo into avoiding everything.
So smooth.
We are kind of cycle locked by things, so sometimes we just kind of have to wait, but that's always fine as long as it saves dashes. It'd be cool if you can skip a couple of cycles, and I think if you are really precise, you might be able to, but it's not really a big deal. It's just something that's like, hey, that'd be cool. But yeah, the rest of this room is pretty standard, and we're done with beginner.
Beginner finished. Maybe we can show the dash count, if possible.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I can just pull it up by pulling up my own file. Give me a moment.
I can find it.
Restricted beginner. No. Just gonna open with Notepad because I don't want to have studio loading. 462 dashes for beginner in total.
Yeah.
462 dashes.
So sub 500s. Nice.
Sub 500.
A bit more than 52.
Yeah. So it's even the beginner lobby has had a lot of changes and updates throughout the time. Because even though it has the simplest level geometry, it's a lot more open grown, like in theory, than the other lobbies. But there's still a lot of really cool like skips and a lot of spike climbs. Girly, that's like one of the big things of this lobby.
Yeah.
Final
and a
draft.
lot of corner jumps.
First draft of each level was 602 dashes. Yeah, so a lot of dashes have been saved in this lobby. Over the time, so pretty cool. And there's a lot more of crazy things to come.
Yeah. Well, I leave the commentary to Emma and Tyran. It was really nice. I'll come back tomorrow. So, see you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so I'm going to be commentating the next two lobbies as well because I wanted to. So I thought I'd just go ahead and say that we're about to take a little bit of a break, not like a long break, just like a couple minutes. Go in intermission so we can switch out commentators. Up next is me. I'm still gonna be here, but we also have Mr. Wolf, aka Emma, and Tyrannosaurus. Tyrannical thesaurus. There we go. That's it. Yeah, Tyran. Tyran, whatever you want. So yeah, we're gonna be commenting out. Then we have the intermediate lobby, which is pretty cool. Oh, you said my full name. Yeah, how formal. Yeah, we're gonna switch out commentators. We've got 3 people, including me. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the little intermission. It's gonna be like a couple minutes long, and then we'll get back into this. See you then. All
Oh,
right,
Hello,
I have
I am
returned.
hello.
me. Oh,
So yeah, we're about to get started on intermediate.
all right. Yeah. This is an intermediate lobby. This is probably the lobby that I put arguably the most time into. I spent a lot of time on beginner too. But I didn't get as many crazy things in beginner as I did in intermediate, so I decided to choose looking at talking about intermediate instead of talking about beginner. Um, there's some insane stuff in here, and there's even more insane stuff we weren't even able to get in. That's just how insane intermediate lobby is. That um, there is so much insane, weird niche tech that only happens in this particular lobby, and I'm really excited to show off what both me and also the rest of the people who worked on this project were able to accomplish in these levels. I think they're really, really cool, and yeah. Oh, I should introduce myself. I am Tyran. I've been tassing for almost 4.5 years now, um, and I've done a lot of stuff, but I think this is some of my best tassing work I've ever done. I'm really proud of what I was able to get accomplished. And with that, I will hand it over to my co-commentators to introduce themselves.
I kind of already introduced myself, so Emma, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I'm Emma, also known as Mr. Wolf in the community. I've been testing for a year and a half. And yeah, this project has been really, really fun. And probably not in intermediate, you're going to see me also in Grandmaster. But yeah, I have done like a lot of work, some that I'm really proud of. So I'm really happy that you are all going to see this and the work of all of these contributors. So yeah.
Yeah. So not really much to really say about this lobby before we really get started, other than lot going to be happening clearly, but it's just there's just going to be a lot of really interesting things, and Tyran is going to be talking quite a bit more than me
Yeah.
and Wolf. Not that we aren't going to say anything, but he, to put it lightly, he over prepared.
Yeah, I prepped basically assuming that neither of them would talk at all. So I have like 70 to 80% of this lobby like fully planned out in terms of how I'm going to commentate it. Now it's probably too much, but I care a lot about these tasks and I want them to be well documented. There are some tasks that I don't have too much to say just because there's not really that much to say. But I'll try to say what I can. Uh, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So, shit, that's my alarm. Uh, oops. But anyways, so if me and Emma get a little quiet, that's the main reason why. We have a little less to say compared to T-Run, but we're still going to be like talking and bouncing stuff off.
Yeah.
So we'll let, I guess we'll just let Tyron know if he gets a little too rambunctious. But it's fine if he kind of rambles on for a while because he prepared a lot. So I think he deserves to do a good amount of commentating. So, anyways, good to go, I think.
I do not. I still don't have the Discord stream, so I don't.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we don't have the Discord stream. Can
Oh
you
yeah.
pull that up, Restreamer, to kill?
Yeah, we were trying to solve something that do you hear me with echo on the stream, because we are trying to solve that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tried to see until I had to like talk.
Actually, yeah, good idea. Tuco, can you do you have dash counter mod installed?
Yeah. There is actually a trick
Okay.
in this particular lobby that without dash counter mod is actually going to be harder to explain, but I'll try to make it work, I guess.
All right, that's fine, Tuco. Not a big deal. We can always just pull up the dash counts for the levels if anyone's curious, but it'd be nice. whatever. We don't really need it. We don't really need it. It's just helpful. We'll probably have it for expert and grandmaster because that's where it starts getting a lot more complicated when dashes happen. And we'll be doing that on tomorrow anyway, so we'll have it for then. But for now, we don't really need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Let Jax know. Anyways, we are ready to get started.
Oh, there we are.
Tyran, since you're going to be doing a lot of this, I'll let you have the countdown.
Okay. Is the stream working? Is the stream? I think it's working. I'm not sure. It's like frozen for me. So.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
not moving. So.
Well,
I'm ready whenever. So I guess 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Cool. So this is intermediate lobby. Intermediate lobby is filled with a bunch of maps. First map we're going to talk about is Frosted Fragments. So Frosted Fragments, not too much to talk about except for these blocks. When you dash into them, they move away. So generally we're going to want to avoid doing that to the best of our ability. Luckily, at the beginning, we have these 2 little skips taken from any percent where you can just enter these rooms from where you're not supposed to. That's because the 2 rooms are basically on top of each other, and so you can screen transition in that weird way. They were doing a weird little spike climb to get through that gap, and then right here we're going to see the first instance of some floating point manipulation in order to grab underneath this wall. And grabbing underneath the wall is, you can only do that with manipulating your position very, very precisely, and that's what the moving back and forth during those wall kicks was for to manipulate Madeline's position, I think, to like a 10,000th of a pixel. I don't know. Someone in chat will know the exact number. But that's very, very precise, and basically only possible to do in TAS.
Yeah, you'll see that a couple of times throughout this entire TAS, because it's a ceiling pop, so that's pretty helpful. But also, because it's so precise, you'll usually see a lot of preparation going into the exact positioning. I think you'll even see it a couple times in intermediate too.
Yeah. I don't have too much else to say about this map. It's mostly just using these blocks to try and get speed. Right here we do a crouch jump through those spinners. That's fun. But the rest of this is just kind of moving down, moving the blocks where they need to go to finish the rooms.
Yeah. Got a lot of really cool movement. Even still, abusing the little the hitboxes as much as we can, and moving block shenanigans. Always cool to see that. Always cool to see some lift boost and whatever.
I tried to save a dash at the end by going back to get a multi-boost on that block that's moving to the left, but it like hits one of the earlier blocks and breaks too early, so unfortunately that doesn't work.
Yeah, sometimes bottlenecks are just kind of unavoidable in any task really, but especially in minimum dashes where you kind of have to get things set up sometimes.
So right there we saw the first instance, I think it's the first instance, or one of the first, of a grounded wall boost, where you do a wall boost off of a wall, and then you jump on the ground afterwards. So you get the 130 speed from the wall boost, and then the 40 speed from the jump. And that can help you cross some gaps that normally either would be slower to cross, or you wouldn't be able to cross just because you're too slow. This is Low G Botany. This map is built around, there's these outdoor sections which use a bunch of extended variants basically to make your jumps more floaty and lower gravity, and also your like max fall speed is lower. And then there's the indoor sections without the regular gravity. So right here we're gonna take advantage of this moon block by right dashing into it to get a bunch of speed. So when you right dash into, or when you just dash into a move block, or a moon block, it moves away, and then you can treat it like a moving block to get a bunch of boosts off it. We also stand on that moon block to just allow it to sink down, and then right here we're gonna land on that little corner. There's no like trickery there with the spinners, there's just a gap where you can stand on, so you take advantage of it. This room, there's not too much you can do because the springs force you to hold away, so you can't like climb up the walls or anything. But we do stand on this block to allow it to sink. That's very nice. And then in this room, the gravity is actually going to play a role in saving a dash towards the end. So because the gravity is lower, and also because the like fall speed is lower or whatever, it means that you can spend a bunch of time in the like slow fall range, and that means that you can slow down your falling even further. So you can spend a bunch of time crouched during a jump, and so we're actually going to use that here to get through this gap. Normally, in normal gravity, getting through a gap like that would be, I'm not sure if it's actually impossible, but it would be very difficult. But yeah.
Usually you need some sort of like speed tech, maybe like a wall boost usually would be probably sufficient enough with really good positioning, but usually it's just like a matter of really good positioning and speed. If you have high speed, it becomes somewhat trivial. Not really, but like at least for TAS, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. The rest of this room is just basically climbing upwards. It's a bit strange. Right here, we're gonna wait for this moon block cycle, so that way it can be high enough, so that way we can jump off and then jump off the cloud. So
No matter what, when I was improving this level like a couple months ago, I saved like 300 frames. In this room, I saved like 72 frames alone, but I lost all of that waiting for the moon block cycle right there.
I think
So
you can remove waiting for that moon block cycle, but I did not have enough time to check it.
yeah, I'm not that kind of person to do that. So I was just like, you know what, whatever, I'll just wait the extra frames. It's fine. Got it. And block cycles are kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even the only level in intermediate. This level it also plays. So this is Pointless Machines. This is kind of the nightmare for dashless, but also
God.
kind of fun, because every single
No,
room has this dash combination you have to do in order to make the blocks move. And most of the rooms you have to move the blocks or you can't complete the room. So generally the routing in this map is less about trying to get 0 dashes and more about trying to get just enough to make the blocks move out of the way as needed. That room we are able to just demo under. Right here, we're gonna see a first instance of some like weird routing to make sure we use only the dashes. Again, we're gonna go to the right side of that block just to make sure that our dash sequence is like exactly what it needs to be to activate the block in the minimum amount of dashes. And then right here, we're going to take advantage of the lightning. So at the edges of lightning, there's a 1 pixel wide area where it's thinner than a normal tile. And so we can take advantage of that on that electric box by updashing into it. And because we updash into the lightning box, it like gets broken 1 level without us actually having to right dash into it, which means we can keep the sequence going from the earlier dashes, but also
think-
break the block at the same time.
So you saw in that previous room, there was a pause buffered wall boost into moon block cycle jumping. Basically, sometimes you need to mess with your position or do something that involves pressing the jump button without ever wanting to actually jump, and that's what pause buffering is usually used for. Because you can unpause with the jump button and the game still thinks you're holding it, so it'll give you like slow fall, but you won't ever actually interact with any of the walls, even if you didn't press jump before the pause buffer.
Yeah.
So
So
sometimes doing that helps.
So you may have noticed at the end of that previous room, we actually went over top of the screen, and that's because the screen has some leniency about how high you can go. And then this block is my enemy. That dream block, because you have to go down through the dream block, and you can't smuggle jellies through downward stream blocks, and it messes up a bunch of cool routing you could do later on in the map. But we make do. We get a bunch of speed off this block, bring the jelly over, and then we're gonna get the jelly so that way we can put it on the spring, and then bring it over here.
For a jelly map, there's really not a whole lot of jelly laddering, but that's mainly just because the map itself is pretty restrictive in where you can take the jellies.
And then right here, we get a bunch of speed off of that block, and then immediately cancel it by doing a corner boost wall boost. We saw some people saying cobwab earlier in chat. That's what that means. It just means doing a neutral grab jump and then with a bunch of speed, and then canceling that speed by holding away from the wall. And now we are going into, what is it? Oh, Midnight Monsoon.
Moonlight Monsoon. This level
I
is
am
so
Oh.
funny.
excited. Okay, this might genuinely be the best TAS I've ever made in my 4 years of TASing. I'm
Yeah, just
so
you wait. This
excited.
level is incredible because it has the forest or whatever it's called. I forget, jungle helper, whatever it's called. It has the
Yeah, it
explodey
has.
crystals.
Yeah. So when you grab these crystals, there's a timer that goes down, and it basically counts down until it goes down to 0, and then it explodes. But the more important thing is that when it explodes, you get into the launch state, and that is not the normal state, and that matters a lot. So we're going to be using these crystals to do all sorts of state shenanigans. Right here, we go over top of the screen to keep this jelly from getting fizzled by the barrier. Normally, if you left throw that jelly into the coin, it gets fizzled by the barrier, and you can't take it into this room, and so then you can't jelly ladder at the end of this room. But because we have 2 jellies, we can jelly ladder now. So we're just going to wait for the bomb to explode. And now this is where the level breaks.
Oh, okay. So we have this room. I forget who originally did this room. Was it you, Tyran?
I rerouted the room. I
Okay.
know that much.
All right. So yeah, basically, we do a lot of jelly laddering to be able to get a jelly out of this room. Because it's so far into the room, we actually kind of have to route getting the jelly first. But
Yeah.
once we have that,
Yeah, and the reason why we want an extra jelly is because one of these jellies you can't get back. You have to left throw it into this coin we see on the screen right now. And so we're going to throw this, and then we're going to throw the second jelly low enough that it actually slides on the ground a bit and slows down enough to not hit the barrier, and then we can re-grab it because of the large jelly grab range. So now we have 2 jellies smuggled into the right side of the map, and that's going to be very, very important for this trick coming up, where we're actually going to store this bubble. So we're dropping these
dashless
jellies.
dash.
Yeah. So we exploded ourselves out of the bubble, and then notice this dash is actually going to have the bubble, and it did not count as a dash. That doesn't count as a dash. That is 100% dashless, because basically the game thinks that we're trying to fast bubble because we canceled the beginning part of being in a bubble with the explosion from the bomb. And then right here, we're actually going to smuggle this crystal over top this barrier to get Bino control storage to save the other dash in this room. So I guess now that we're talking about Bino control storage, let's explain it, because it's about to happen again. So normally the way that binoculars keep you from moving around while in the dummy state is that they put you into the dummy state, which is used for things like cutscenes, and that's how they keep you from moving around. But if you ever cancel the dummy state by entering a different state, you can move around while using binoculars. And so that's what these crystals are doing. I mentioned earlier that they put you into launch state, which is not the dummy state. So you can walk around while using binoculars if you get exploded after entering.
Yeah, this keeps the spinners unloaded on the parts the camera, the Bino camera isn't on, which basically means if you have good camera movement, you can basically walk through any spinners. There is a bit of a downside in that you basically have to pause buffer every single jump or demo every dash if you don't pause buffer the dash. But that's a tiny amount of time loss compared to what you get out of it. It's pretty cool.
There's a very important thing we're going to do at the end of this room, which is we're actually going to store another bubble into the next room by grabbing this the crystal bomb, and then having it explode us again out of this this bubble. And so in the next room, I'm going to be quiet towards the end of the room because we're going to get bubble storage again. So the next time we dash, it isn't actually going to count as a dash, even though it will look like a dash. So listen closely. Notice how the dash did not make the dash sound. And that's because that wasn't actually a dash. We fast bubbled using the previous room's bubble, but because the bubble wasn't loaded, it didn't make the dash sound, or it didn't make the bubble sound, and it also didn't show the bubble sprite. And then right immediately into this room, we have Bino control storage again, and we're going to get a bunch of speed off of this block. This map actually has infinite stamina. Most people don't know that because it doesn't like come up ever in gameplay, but it is enabled by default.
Pretty
And
cool.
we're gonna go up
Yeah.
here into this berry room. And again, we have Bino control storage once again. And the reason we're in the berry room is because we need to exit this room using this little fall block to the right. So now we're in this room, and because we're closer to the middle spawn point, we can skip having to go across a gap to the left. And again, we're going to do some grabs on these pipes to skip having to dash into them. So there might be a question of why is it so easy to get Bino control storage in this map in specific? We're actually going to get it again later. And the reason why is because there's a bunch of cutscene triggers placed right next to binoculars, very, very conveniently. And so every time you skip a cutscene, your state goes from dummy to normal. And so because we can cancel the dummy state of the Bino, we can get Bino control storage. We've got it again here, and we're going to use it to get a bunch of speed off of one of these zippers to just completely skip having to do this room. Yeah.
Small note is that you can actually like stun kind of while doing these pause buffer jumps, so we kind of have to, of course, avoid doing that because that would be illegal.
Yeah.
But so these aren't actually stuns; they're just pause buffer jumps, so we can climb jump a bunch of times.
Yeah. The way I made sure of that was to make sure that the camera is always completely like far away from where the spinners are whenever you're doing those pause buffers, just to make sure that I'm not doing anything illegal. That would be bad.
I have a kitty with me. Kitty's watching
All right.
stream.
We are moving into Supernautica. This map is pretty fun, although admittedly I did not work on it very much. It just kind of came like this. But there's some very cool strats in this level. So we're gonna start by bringing this jelly with us back, and now we've got 2 jellies. Wow, yay! And we actually need to upright dash here to make sure that these 2 jellies don't get fizzled by the barrier. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't think Emma was trying to say anything with an accent, but I gotta say something real quick because someone asked in chat. Anyone's testing with spinner stunning? A lot of people are, in fact. There's a lot of people drafting semi-restricted strawberry jam and memo dashes, which basically means stunning is allowed, freezing is not. So there's a lot of cool routing with that. It gets added with allowing spinner stuns. A lot of Bino clips into spinner stuns, especially that's like one big one. So if you want to work on anything or try and improve anything there's always the Strawberry Jam Discord or Mem Dash Discord, which allows not only the one you're seeing right now, but also the ones with spinner stunning, but also and the one with spinner freezing. So if you want to work on anything, go ahead.
There's a cool strat coming up where we actually throw the jelly into the wall and have it slide underneath the jelly barrier. I really like that. The first time I saw that, I was like, wow. But yeah, we're gonna bring these jellies with us. And then I believe it's the next room where we're gonna break it a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna get Bino control storage again. So this time, the reason why it works is because there's a cutscene to the left. So this map has 2 cutscenes, both in the first room and then also in this room, where if you like hold into the left wall, it gives you a little bit of flavor text about like what's outside of the map. But because it's right next to the binoculars, we can get Bino control storage. So yeah, we can use that to just completely break that room. And then we're going to get our jelly ladder and then dash into the heart.
Okay, you cannot bite my earbuds. No, go.
Okay, we
Gotta
are
steal a kitty
in
with me.
Sleeping Under the Stars.
This
So
level
Sleeping
got
Under the
rerouted
Stars,
recently.
yeah. So we actually go to the right. We used to go to the left, and we will see why shortly. So first thing we're going to do, just demo there. There's no way to grab that key without using some sort of dash, so the demo is just the fastest way to do that. And then we're climbing up these blocks, and we need to wait for the moon block cycle in order to hit that spring, and then we hyper B hop, so we can use the dash to both cross that gap and also grab the spring, or grab the jelly, and then we're taking this jelly over the barrier, and so now we have 2 jellies, and you all know what that means. That means we get infinite height.
Yeah.
We got a bit of a discussion in the chat about if the pipe entries count as dashes. No, in the game they don't actually count as dashes.
Yeah.
I know they're
you aren't
modded
actually
entities.
dashing.
Yeah, I know they're modded entities, so technically it's I can see why people would debate it, but in the game, the game actually counts your dashes. Like, even without the dash counter mod, the actual game itself is designed to count your dashes, and they don't count as dashes, so we're allowing them.
So the reason we did the right side first is because we needed to bring an extra jelly. So we needed to use 1 dash to get this jelly, but we're going to save 2 dashes. So the first one is right here on this left side, and then we don't need to grab this jelly to the left either because we already have a jelly. So that saves 2 dashes, so it ends up being a net save even though we used some dashes. You know, you got to spend money to make money. And then
that's cool.
And then right here in this room, because of the lower gravity in this map, you have to drop it. You can drop jellies and then re-grab them before you lose your upward speed, and so we do that to get some extra height in that section up there. And then this is the final key room. There's nothing too interesting to talk about in this room. It's mostly just doing the room as intended. But after that, we're gonna deposit these keys and go on to the second half of the map.
Yeah, and now that we have all the keys, we can go into the remembrance section of this level. It's based off of the farewell checkpoint remembrance, or remember, I forgot the exact name, something like that.
Yeah, so in this next room, we're actually gonna climb the wall kick there, so that way we can hit that pufferfish from the pufferfish from like the lowest part of its range. And here we actually need to hit this pufferfish a second time because you get a bad position out of the dream block the first time, and so you end up having to use an extra dash if you don't hit it the second time. So even though it looks a little weird, it does actually save dashes. And then right here, we're going to just take our 2 jellies. Most of the rest of this map is just taking these 2 jellies with us. We do a little wall kick off this section to get height. So to do a jelly ladder, you need some initial vertical speed. So that's what the wall kick there is for. And then we're actually going to go into this little scenic section where normally you're supposed to throw the jelly, but we can just go through those with demos, you know, just demo lol. And so we're gonna get some height, and then we're actually gonna take this over top the screen, so that jelly barrier doesn't like extend past the top of the screen. And because Madeline can move above the top of the screen, you can just go over top of the screen and keep the jelly with you.
Right now, we're not even necessarily jelly laddering. We're jelly juggling right now, and then we jelly ladder whenever we can because of the high speeds that we get out of like puffer boosts. So we kind of have to be careful with that. Make sure we don't like let go of one in such a way. So we have to kind of be careful of that. But we can still do it. Not even TAS can do a SJ 100% deathless. It's just that hard.
Yeah. This is 5th dimension. There's not too much to talk about this map. Most of it is just going to be jumping off of little spots where there's not spinners, or just doing weird float manips to get grabs. And that's about it. Most of the rest of it is about what you'd expect.
Yeah. I will say, I actually drafted this semi-restricted one of this, and that task is actually a lot more enjoyable than this one, in my opinion. Of course, that's my opinion, but
well, because
it has,
a lot of the rooms. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. A lot of the rooms in semi-restricted are not done intended whatsoever, either because they stun through stuff or they just don't even do the room in the first place. They use the unintended transitions a lot in that task.
Yeah.
So.
Because all the rooms in this map are basically like stacked on top of each other, and so if you can stun through these spinners, you can enter the other rooms and not the way you're supposed to. That does actually come up in the any percent task because they can do stunning. And then right here, we're actually going to do a slight variation on the float manip, where instead of doing a C-pop out of that grab, we're going to do a wall kick off that grab, because you can also wall kick on the first frame after grabbing.
We kind of saw what we were talking about a moment ago with the transitions there. We don't need to stun through that. We can just demo.
Yeah.
We're in the unintended transition. You get a lot more of that in semi-restricted because you can stun, but there are some times you can do it without stunning, but that is pretty difficult, and I think it's
Honey
really cool
zip,
there.
honey zip,
Honey zip, this level's cool. I love this level when I was drafting.
This very first transition is very interesting, where if you enter it on a very specific frame of the jump, your subpixels get rounded upwards and you get within grab range of that left wall, so that saves a dash. And then we're getting a bunch of speed off of these zip lines by doing a grab and then jumping and then immediately re-grabbing. That's also used in any percent, but it makes a much bigger difference in this category, at least in my opinion, because we can't get a lot of speed in any great way otherwise.
Hold on, I want to highlight this comment from chat. Unintended transitions is my new trans punk band name. That's so cool. Trans.
Yeah, true. So right here, we're going to do some very weird movement on this zipper, and now the camera's broken. And so in the next room, we're gonna up left bubble, and then the camera's not gonna follow us, and so we can just wall kick off the wall.
This level has the worst cameras of all time, and I love it.
It's like, so odd. It is so odd. I don't know why it happens. It's like some trigger jank, where like there's like triggers attached to these zippers, and the sequence of steps is just bizarre. It's like a completely random list of criteria that doesn't seem to be logically connected to any sort of mechanics that I understand. We're gonna do it again here.
Almost every single honey zip TAS abuses the camera in some way. Like this does, the any percent one does, the all red berries one does, and the all keys one that I did also does that quite a few times because it just allows you to skip an entire like key.
Yeah.
So, key room basically.
Yeah, we needed to do the camera lock trick there because we needed to upright in that bubble, and the only way to upright through the bubble is by deloading the spinner that would normally kill you, and that allows you to grab the zipper without dashing. So,
well, you don't necessarily skip the key in all keys, but you do basically skip how you're supposed to get it because the entire room is just stayed on the like vertical camera default setting, but you're supposed to go up, so it just allows you to upright red bubble basically and just continue that and get the key. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. This map is built around these teleport triggers that also sometimes flip the camera. Basically, when you get teleported, there's a frame where it changes your respawn to the closest one, but there's normally change respawn triggers to try and prevent that from happening. But because on the very first frame, if you retry, your respawn hasn't changed yet, you can actually skip that. And so we're going to use that here, and then also in the heart side. So we just saw it again. Another thing I want to talk about is, do you have something?
Yeah, sorry. I was the one that drafted this level, and I was a pretty interesting experience because the camera looks all fuckety, so sometimes that was a bit not really nauseating, but just confusing to route around. But also because after I drafted it, there was a couple of pretty like interesting dash saves that were recommended to me. One of them was like a DCB out of dash end speed, and that was pretty interesting to do because when you have dash end speed, you have quite a bit of speed. So DCBing is possible, but it's a lot more difficult. So that was interesting. Just stuff like that where there's a lot of pretty neat movement.
Right there, that spring hit is super precise because we need to get corner corrected on the very last frame of that spring hit, and that's precise to like I think a 24th of a pixel or something. And so it was very difficult to manip. I had to do some like grabs and stuff. I don't know, it wasn't that hard, but it was harder than manips.
Right. I think it's kind of interesting that there's like two VVVVV style maps, but one of them like actually takes the concept, and one of them just uses the style. Not that this map is bad. This level's pretty fun, but it's kind of weird.
This map is also the first introduction to screen wrapping, which doesn't really have a whole lot of jank in this particular level, but in the next level we're going to see, which is the level that hurts my soul. Um, but in that level, we're going to see some usage of screen wrapping, where
CF2.
oh,
Yeah.
this map is cool, but also makes me sad because of reasons.
This, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil something because it's just too juicy. I cannot hold this as a secret. This level is the only level to be 0 dashes, but we could not get that in because that was solved like literally like yesterday.
Yeah, it was like literally less than 24 hours ago. I'll post about it in the Celeste Discord. I'll make sure to you know, if you want to see it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but this level is intended dashless. There's an intended dashless route, I should say. It's not intended to be dashless, but is intended to be completed dashless because there's a berry that you can get if you do that. So it's just mostly for us about getting good times, kill strats. I found this one with the water boost. Originally, we went up to the berry room, but that was slow, so I didn't remove that. But in general, this level is about what you'd expect because it's intended to be completed dashless. But we do have the one dash that is not.
Yeah, we fall through
Sorry,
that
go ahead.
that spinner by using the edge of the screen transition. Or sorry, not the screen boundary. So basically, the screen wrapping allows you to move very quickly because it teleports you from one side to the other. And so you can use that to very quickly unload and then reload spinners. We're going to do some more position manipulation. That's what these left and right movement is for, to grab underneath that wall so we can do a ceiling pop. This is infiltration. Infiltration is built around the idea that when you grab these dash crystals, the game slows down. And that's actually going to be pretty helpful for us. Right here, we're going to do a cool little tech. We're going to see it later, where when you're on a moving block and then you C-pop with a neutral grab jump, then you can wall boost and then grab the other side. And so we use that to save a dash later in this map. I don't know if it's needed there. I don't think it is, but it does save time.
Yeah, so this level is pretty interesting because whenever you have to get the dash crystal like unintendedly, oftentimes you don't even need it. So you're just in slow mode for like a good couple of seconds. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. There is
This
some
level is used to break shit. In fact,
there is grabless activation in the next room, so that's pretty fun. So we're gonna go up here and then grab this block with. So basically, if you're moving downwards and moving away from a block, you can be inside those spikes. But the only conditions for grabbing is that you're facing the block, you're grabbing, and that you're moving down. And so you don't actually need to grab it, you just need to have those conditions met to activate it. So we use that there to skip that room.
so yeah, this level's pretty interesting. Like it's kind of what you'd expect because the dash crystals make you a lot slower, and because
There's also a lot of really cool routing around to just like using the zippers in unintended ways and.
Oh yeah, no, there's always cool.
So this is another the C-pop I was talking about earlier, where you that time we actually keep the lift boost from the
zipper C-pop.
Yeah.
A lot of really cool movement you can do whenever you're trying to avoid using one of the most fundamental game movements.
Yeah, so right there we did another grabless activation on that zipper. That only works because when you're the pixel above a zipper, it'll get activated even if you're moving upwards. And also because the slowdown from the dash crystal allows you to move slow enough upwards that you there's a frame where you're above the zipper. So that allows us to grab jump off the other zipper. And then right here, there's a cool route in this room where we bring the zippers over to the right and then wait for them to go to the right. So that way we can bring them back. And then as they're coming back, we do a spike climb so that we're on the top of this room with the zippers on the left. So now we can just ride them across.
Yeah.
we need to get through the laser, and we do that by using the little gap between those two blocks to temporarily pass through while there's a little spot. We can't really do anything about these last two dashes, but that's fine.
And then we're at the end. Of course, we have the heart. Almost always a dash, unless there's a crystal, or if we can break the laws of physics, like we do in Soup. What we could have done in Soup, unfortunately.
All right. And now we're going into Construction Conundrum. This is another fun map. So this map,
That was cool.
yeah, this map is built around basically when you grab one of these crystals, it changes your inventory. So when you grab, say, like a 1 dash crystal, it gives you 1 dash when you land. When you grab a jump crystal, it gives you a jump when you land. So generally you want to grab these green crystals, which give you jump every time you land. So that's very useful because it means that we have an extra jump to avoid using dashes with. So we're actually
we use a
yeah,
C pop and some cool movement to be able to just specifically get back here.
yeah.
And then
This screen transition is very weird. It's the only screen transition in the entire map where if you bring extra jumps into it, it doesn't remove the ability to gain jumps when you land. No other screen transition works like that. I don't know why. But also at the beginning of each room, there's a little trigger that basically. Oh, also big spike climb right there, very neat. But there's a trigger at the beginning of each room that sets your dash count to 1. And so we're actually going to use that in this next room to get some extra jumps. So we're going to go down here, get some extra jumps, and then refresh our dash by entering the dash trigger, and then do a floating point, spike, fall, or basically we use some float jank to fall through that gap. And then
perfectly normal.
yeah, so we actually used the jump that we got at the beginning of the previous room in order to be able to save one of the 2 dashes at the beginning of this room. So interesting little jump routing. We're gonna do that again.
Interesting routing in this level.
Yeah, so we're gonna crouch jump there and then use the extra jump here to save having to do like an upright or an up dash there. And then we also do some C pops here. Normally you do a demo to do this skip.
Yeah, ever fail safe slot block again. And then we get back here. Because that teleports you to the closest spawn point, similar to Death Warp. So it teleports you right to the end of the room, so we don't have to go through the entire puzzle. That's used in any percent too. Anything else you wanna?
I mean, the rest of this map is kind of just like falling down. Downwards movement is pretty easy in dashless because generally the hardest thing in dashless is getting height. And so if you start with all the height, then there's a lot you can do.
Yeah,
so
true. And then we got
those 2 rooms are just breaking the power box, and that's it.
Yeah, got some pretty neat room to avoid having to use extra dashes, but it's not like. All right, and now we're at Eat Girl.
Yeah.
Emma, this is your chance. Emma, go ahead.
Your chance.
There you go. Okay. Well, I mainly improved this task a while ago. This was done by Superbox, and then I saved 2,000 frames, if I remember correctly. So yeah, there are going to be 2 main techs we're going to use. Most of the map is the same thing, but it's a fast bonking and a wall boost DCPs. So yeah, wall boost DCPs are basically if you do a wall boost from an opposite wall than the one you want to DCP, then you turn around, and as you turn around, you get to the wall with lots of pixels in the X coordinate. Well, you can do a DCP with 130 speed, so it's a lot, and you can do some really cool movement with that. And also fast bonking that is going to be present in the whole map, because well, we have these 2 tile corridors. You see them everywhere. The whole map is built like that. And if you jump for 3 frames, stop jumping for 1 frame, jump for another frame, and then fall for 4 frames, you can basically jump every 9 frames or 8 frames. Sorry. So it's much faster than just jumping and then letting yourself fall. So yeah, this whole map was like, it's capped basically. You can't really save any dashes unless you somehow manage to go through walls. Then I don't think you can do that, or somehow activate the zippers without using dashes. you can really do that because there's no like storage you can do here, so you're basically up cap. Oh, there you have like a hyper. We do a hyper from the dash block and then use the lift boost to go up, and it's really fast. It's much faster than just doing the dash normally. But yeah, this map took me a lot of time because the routing is quite messy. We have to do a lot of routing to get to these points as fast as possible. But it was really fun. I had like a really good experience testing this. But yeah, here we are also going to use the dashes, trying to save time so we don't get like die. Yeah, that's it. It's a really
One of my favorite
interesting map.
songs, and this is one of my favorite songs
From a
from
movement
SJ, and I don't know
standpoint,
why
of course.
it's such a banger. Real quickly, is it bad on the ever reason to lose frames? Yes, all the time. They're kind of like right in your way, so you have to run around that.
This is Temple of the Thousand Skies. This is admittedly where I stopped doing prep because, first of all, this map is really, really complicated in terms of routing. It's just a very big map, and there's lots of things you have to collect. Right here, we're going to do a Bino clip. I don't know if we ever talked about these explicitly. We did the Bino extension in the previous lobby, and that's basically just a bigger version of a Bino clip, where when you enter binoculars, you can move the camera up, then exit, and then move around before the cameras move back down. Yeah. There is one thing I want to talk about later, but that's not quite yet. We're gonna exit this room, and then when we go into this room, we actually crouch jump there, and that feels very random, but there's actually a gigantic change respawn trigger that is just like a column of change respawn throughout the entire room. And so we actually crouch jump through those spinners to hit the change respawn trigger. And because we do that, we're able to exit the, or we're able to get our respawn to the lower respawn, and we don't have to go through the, what is it, the dream block. So we did right side, now we're gonna do left side. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this map just because it's very complicated, and I didn't have time to study it, so a little unfortunate, but happens.
I should mention playing like the internet went off, so yeah, we're going to be commentating for now until they got it back. So.
Okay. Cool. So right here, these two zippers. I don't know. Oh, right there, that retry. I'm pretty sure it's just time save. That one I think actually is like saves dashes. Again, I did not have the opportunity to like look deeply at this map.
Hotspot.
We're gonna do another spike. Another Bino clip. So we use one dash there after entering the Binos, but then immediately afterwards, we are able to enter that room from a different position, so we get a different respawn, and so then we can spawn lower and skip 2 dream blocks. So it ends up being worth it, that Bino clip.
So real quickly, I'm sorry, my internet turned off for some reason.
Oh yeah, and the crouch and.
So I'm back. I'm on hotspot. Hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. But yeah, I missed some of this level, so I'm not going to commentate for the rest of it. Just gonna watch it. Yeah. Not that there's much to commentate. It's done at the end. So
yeah.
What is there to commentate? We jump on clouds. Whoa, that's so cool.
I feel sometimes like we are so used to this movement, and sometimes we don't know what to commentate, but probably people who don't TAS are like going crazy. But yeah, it's expected movement.
Oh, I did not open up my notes doc before this.
All right.
I forget.
So we got square the circle.
Yeah. So again, this is a map that's mainly going to be around. Well, the sort of gimmick of the map is that, well, again, we did one of those grounded lobbies to cross that gap. The gimmick of this map is basically bubbles and these cabins. So we're going to be dashing into the cabins with the bubbles as much as we can. We're actually going to delay to wait so we can wall boost off of that cabin as it returns, and that saves some dashes. And then right here, we're going to upright demo through that spot, or into the cabin, so that we can climb up the wall to go through the little gap. And then most of this is just movement. I forget which room. Okay, it'll come up. Yeah, most of this is just sort of movement and trying to. Right here, I think you might be able to sneak through this jump through without using the cabin, but I wasn't able to find a way to do it. And then in this room, we're actually going to clip through that sideways jump through right there by, it's the same thing as earlier where the lightning is 1 pixel thinner than the jump through. And so there's 1 pixel of the jump through you can fall through to be on the other side of it. So you don't actually have to go through and dash into the cabin.
Yeah, so pretty interesting movement here, including that upright demo. That's cool.
There's also quite a lot of speed in this room from the cabin.
Yeah, you can jump repeatedly on cabins like this and get a ton of speed, even dashless. So that's going to be some times when we have the ability to do so. Also notice that some of the decoration in this map is pride flags, so, you know, I just have to make note of it, because, you know, important, very.
Yeah, it's important. So right here, we're going to do another one of those corner boost wall boosts to get a bunch of speed off that Kevin and then immediately cancel all of it. Very clean little strat.
Celeste is gay. That's true. The mountain itself is gay.
Yes. Aren't all mountains gay?
True. Well, game detector won't like this.
This is so sad.
The woke game detector is the funniest thing to ever happen, honestly. I'm 100% believe that was satire. It's so funny. I'm not going to go into it because it's unrelated to anything, but it's funny.
Yeah, you just had to bring it up, you know?
Yeah, bring it up.
Anyways,
right.
so
yeah, we're on the hard side.
Yeah, we're going into Raspberry Roots. This level is pretty long, got a lot of dashes. There's a couple of interesting things to talk about, so I'll bring them up when they come up. Again, this was a level that I was not able to super prepare for, so unfortunately I won't have something to say about every room. That's a little disappointing, but you know, timing and stuff. This is very similar to the... Oh, you want to go ahead?
The level, yeah, basically it's kind of what you expect from the original, from the levels before. Same concepts, same. Well, this level is different because it's not vertical; it's horizontal, but it's the same gameplay. So, so just generally like good movement. There are a lot of really cool skips in the hard side. So just stay tuned.
Right here we're gonna do the retry again, and that's another one of those skips. So if you retry any later than the first frame there, then you don't get teleported to the right. You get teleported back to the beginning of the room.
The girl flag has an extra gimmick that is not seen in the original map, and I think that's pretty cool. It has this like box that you can break that reverses or that changes what box you can hit. Where they go, so that is also something you need to keep note of for routing in that room specifically.
Oh yeah, I should try to test it. I've never touched it.
Then we got Soup. I think this, I don't know if this flag was actually intended to be completed dashes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was because it's Soup. It'd be weird if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Got Death Warp here because it's faster.
The routing in this room is mostly just waiting for this block to go. It's not. There is that funny where we hit that spring in like a very specific way, so we don't hit the spinners, and then we're just stalling with the bubble.
How are you getting between all of them up so fast? What do you mean? Like just entering?
So this room is also mostly done as intended until about halfway through, where we're gonna grab this zipper on the top, so that way we can activate it and then bring it back. Yeah.
Oh, you're in cold map and now you're in B map. This is the hard side. The hard side is made up of a collection of rooms based off the maps you played. So this is how it's built. You got like one room of one level,
Yeah.
one room of another level, etc.
There's some camera shenanigans that the any percent TAS does, but it requires stunning. I tried to make it work, but I wasn't really able to make it successful here.
Yeah, the hard sides are probably the levels that took the most time to make, because you have to make transition.
Dropping out a little bit.
But you also have to have all the assets from each level in the game for each level. So I imagine these are like one of the last things that were made in SJ. Oh no. Square the circle. How did you do it? Oh, there we go, I guess.
You got that square the circle latency. It's only when square the circle is on. Yeah, so in this room, we're actually going to take this jelly into the next room, and the way we're going to do it is by throwing it at a specific part.
Oh,
The any percent pass also does it.
Okay.
Yeah, so right there. Oh, we're getting some lag.
Fortunately, we messed the entire flag, but
Yeah, so...
fortunately...
Yeah, so there we actually throw the jelly high enough that it interacts with that coin, but then bounces off the wall before it hits the jelly barrier. And now we've got 2 jellies into this room.
Hold on, let me...
Alright, so again, we've got 2 jellies, so it's mostly just going to be juggling and laddering to victory. Unfortunately, we can't take the jellies past this room, so this is going to be their final resting place. There's this very funny strat where we wait a very long time. We're just gonna wait because we very slowly move up in this stream. So that's enough to make us go to the top.
Oh, true.
My better.
Sounds better. Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was the stream dying, not me.
Yeah. Oh, we're good. All right. This room is basically going through a bunch of times to activate different collections of zippers and like moving them to different spots in order to, like, the routing is pretty complicated. I don't know if it's actually needed to do this many trips. I know like any percent doesn't do this many trips. It does like 1 trip around, and this task does like 3 trips around. Again, another thing I would have looked at if I had more time.
Oh, yeah, there was also that grab activation. And also, I should point out that where you are in slowdown, you can do like much more CVs. I don't think that was mentioned, but yeah, even though you are like slow, you can get more speed, so that can save dashes.
So this room was improved very recently. It's actually faster it's actually better in terms of dashes to activate that block, even though it takes more dashes initially, because the block moves up a pretty substantial amount. So the old TAS did like 3 or 4 up dashes there, and those were not needed. And then we're going into this flag. This is also another thing that was improved very recently. The routing here, we're going to do another one of those fancy wall boost, corner boost, or the wall boost off the moving block to grab the other side, and then skip having to do anything. Yeah, this flag is about what you expect. It's not too much to talk about here.
You got that little thing right there where you don't do the puzzle.
And then, yeah, and then you demo underneath the bottom of the dream block, because there's like 1 or 2 pixels. Sorry.
Yeah, we
go
got
ahead.
this flag where we're just kind of skipping, hitting all these things that you're supposed to hit because we're supposed to get this, because we can get this crystal, and this crystal is the only thing that we really need because we can get a lot of speed with an extra jump.
So this flag, unfortunately, is not as broken as the map that it's representing. And the reason why is because in this flag, none of the crystals respawn. And so if you use the crystals to do anything fancy, you can't complete the rest of the rooms. So even though
Unfortunate.
even though the fancy stuff is possible, it doesn't save any dashes. Right there, that death warp is to just get to the top spawn point, which normally you need to dash to get to. So that does actually save a dash.
This is all levels, yeah, but we're splitting up between 2 streams. So this first stream is going to be beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and then the next stream will be expert and GM. So if you want to like leave, that's completely fine.
Yeah,
So-
you probably won't miss
talking
anything.
about it.
In the any percent task, you can actually skip this elevator by getting stuck inside of the elevator, but you can't do that in dashless because you can't get enough speed to get stuck inside the elevator. So we just waited out, and
That'd be
this is
neat.
basically the end of intermediate. I hope you all enjoyed. I had a lot of fun working on it. Thanks.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Let me go ahead and leave right now so I can fix my internet before I go on for advanced.
Oh yeah, I just want to say like this was really good. Sorry if I didn't like talk too much outside of
I mean,
Pittsburgh.
I
If you yeah
I,
you,
I
you talk a
planned
lot.
it that way. So you talked as
Yeah,
much as you
it
need to.
was
You did great on
it
each
was
roll.
really good. Yeah, if you want to see me, like I'm going to talk a lot more tomorrow because I'm going to also be in the Grandmaster lobby. So I'm going to be showcasing a lot more. I'm preparing for that. But yeah, Tyran, you really did a great job, and thanks for everyone for being here.
Oh, also, if you want to see the Sea of Soup done in 0 dashes, I will be posting a video of that in the SJ channel of the Celeste Discord. So if you're interested, check that out too. That's all. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually 0, including the Heart Collect.
Yeah, I would like to say that now. Check it out for yourself. It's really cool.
All right. I think
Yeah.
that's all I gotta say. You all have been lovely. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye bye.
Alright, Hello? Does my microphone sound good? Alright, I'll assume that's a yes, because I can't see chat yet. Alright, that's a yes. Okay, so I suppose I should introduce myself first. I'm unavailable. I got my start... I started doing this project shortly after Ren posted the intermediate level, and so basically everything I've done is for the advanced level, so this is very much the only one I can commentate. But, yeah. I started TASing around 9 months ago. Oh, and Ren's back. Lovely.
Sorry.
So, yeah. I guess I started min-dash TASing with Glyph. And that was to beat Ren's TAS.
Yeah. That was fun.
It was fun. Good times, good times.
I might try and like go further with that sometime. Like try and do like get the true ending or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out sometime.
Well,
There's
now that we have everyone, should we count it in?
Let's get started. I think.
All right.
All right. Advanced lobby.
Yeah.
5. Or do you want to count?
I'd love to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the advanced lobby, the movement in here is quite similar to the other lobbies. It's just a lot of jumping. Not much to it. We start off here with a little pause there, because I'm not sure if you can set it up there without the pause, but that's just to get enough speed to do a multi-boost cobweb, I think it's called.
Yeah.
This is one of the levels that got a lot of improvements recently, near the end of the TAS.
Yeah, we also did a grounded wall boost off of a frozen spinner, zipper, because we can.
Yeah, pretty much. Another thing to note is that... Yeah, confident. Because there's a little gap there. I don't think the TAS actually stands there for any meaningful amount of time, but it does interact with the cutscene. Anyways, this level had like 10 dashes saved, only a few weeks before the showcase. That was during the big rush to improve everything.
Yeah. Pretty interesting though, because advance is where we start to see some of the routing go a little more away from saving dashes as much as saving multiple dashes, if that makes sense. Like like dash chains, lowering the dashes needed for chains. It's not a whole lot of there in advance until like the later levels, but it's especially prevalent in expert and especially grandmaster. So it's just something to mention that there are some times where dash saves go from good movement more towards using the dash chains you use, but you getting less speed with less dashes to try and still make what you need to do. That was kind of a bad explanation, but you'll see what I mean later.
Also, I just want to mention, we interacted with the binoculars there to increase our friction, because regular grounded friction is lower than when you're in the dummy state. Anyways, we also have to do the obligatory jelly smuggle.
Jelly ladder all the way up here to this puffy.
Also, Cobweb is in fact a corner boost support boost.
We got some pretty neat movement here, because, you know, we need the jellies. Jellies are pretty important.
Yeah.
Or even if we can't like smuggle them out, just getting to them is pretty important, because we can still do a lot of neat stuff with just one jelly because of the lower fall speed and the floatier movement. So just having one is usually very important. But we can still smoke quite a lot of them, even if it comes at the cost of extra dashes. Sometimes it doesn't even come at the cost of extra dashes. Sometimes it just is the same as not doing it. Then you save
Also,
dash later.
one thing to note about this level is this is actually the level that got advanced under 800 dashes.
Yeah. Jump on that moving block with this spike, because with good positioning.
And here we have to crouch right under those spinners so that we can actually get enough height.
Spinner, it's like spike climb, but spinner climb. Not that you can interact with spinners at all. You can still dive to do that, but you know, it's like similar concept. Just all right, and then we have Lost Woods. This level is a routing. It's just routing. That's like the main thing about this level. Just having good routing.
So much routing.
Because
There have been a few purely mechanical dash saves, but not as many as compared to routing, I don't think. I think there was a minus 3x,
Yeah.
and that's
So,
the majority of the dash saves.
Yeah, the thing with routing in this level is that you can skip having the transitions sometimes, or if you do transition, you can almost always like death warp after to similar to any other like death warp where you can get to the closest spawn point even if you touch a trigger. So it's just routing mainly that you want to focus on with this level.
Oh, what was that even? That's, I think they're talking about the pause buffer for the, yeah, it's just to slow fall so that they can get around the spinner.
Yeah. Be Berserk. This level is cool.
Yes, this actually has one of the potentially weirdest techs in this lobby. I'll mention it when we get up to it. It wasn't that, by the way.
It wasn't that, but that is pretty silly on itself. These bubbles give really weird, like, everything really, but also really weird lift boost that you can abuse in specific ways. So, and this level is a cycle-based level, so that is something you're gonna have to take notice of when doing it. But you also
have infinite stamina, in case you can't tell.
Yeah, just kind of show it off right there. So stamina is not an issue here whatsoever. Thankfully, I think it's a good thing at this level. Oh yeah, we
it's coming up.
We have the infinite stamina, and we have a moving block. So you can do a 9-pixel gap and get a ton of quarter boost in a row and gets us a ton of speed, so we can cross this gap without using any dashes.
Yeah, because Celeste doesn't really work well when your movement gets blocked in the other direction when you already have retained speed. It just keeps your retained speed and lets you do more corner boosts.
I forgot who.
It is really cool.
I forgot who put it in the any percent TAS originally. I think it was Amber, but I'm not quite familiar. I'm not quite exactly remembering. But basically, if we comport it here, we save quite a few dashes, so it's completely worth it here, especially since it doesn't need any dashes. Wasn't it? Except it might have been. I don't really remember who did it. You can also do it here.
Yeah. There's also another instance of it in Java's crypt, but that's less important because it only saves time. Also, it does not work with 10 pixels.
Yeah, it only works with 9 pixels because the point is you have to get retained speed after the wall kick, because otherwise you'll lose all your speed.
Yeah. There are actually several conditions that allow you to do a corner boost on a wall.
You can be 1 pixel away if you have vertical. If you have vertical height, you can be like 1 pixel away, and we will get horizontal or vertical height there anyway, since we have to do that wall kick before we even climb jump. So that's not a problem really. The main issue for this is just making sure you have enough speed and routing around that speed, because if you have too much speed, you will probably end up being too fast. Also, there's this little routing here. Skip a crystal. The 9px is referring to the gap between the wall and the moving block. That's another thing that you have to think about with that kind of thing, is the moving block has a timer before it expires. So you can't get like infinite speed necessarily. But you can get pretty close. Also, we got Blade Valentine's Day. We got the fake hearts. And we also have that death warp right there. That's pretty cool.
Why don't we just collect those hearts?
Yeah, why don't we
Easiest
just collect the
level
hearts
ever.
in them? Easiest level ever. We get like 1,000 hearts. We
Oh,
enter the heart
problems.
side really quickly. Yeah, but anyways, the main thing with this is just using the fake hearts bounces in really weird ways in order to get enough height or speed to pass gaps without dashes. Like right there, you skip doing a wave dash by using the heart as the speed getter. It's pretty funny. No, why? I thought that was the end. No. Okay. But now we have the fake mini hearts. Same thing. They work the same. They're just smaller. Do a final clip here.
Yeah, that was quite recent as well. That was during the big rush.
You can see a lot of ice walls were neutral as well. And here we have the fake out real ending. This you can actually continue past that and get like an actual true ending, because that's like an actual room, but the intended ending is that.
Also, this is the first level I drafted, so this is important to me. Spiritually.
Super buff.
It's wonderful.
So the main thing with this level is we have these electrical boxes, the smaller versions of the one we see in Farewell and elsewhere. But these are used as a heavy holdable, and you have to get into the receptacles, so there's a lot of
Not
interesting
always.
routing around doing that or not doing that. Not always. Sometimes you can just skip it, like we did right there.
Exactly.
So this level is pretty cool. Got a lot of interesting routing, like right here.
Yeah, where you do actually need to bring the box there for that dash save to work. Otherwise, you just don't get enough height.
Wait, I never realized they're just smaller power boxes. Nope, they're smaller power boxes.
Actually,
That's
yeah,
kind
that
of the
makes
point.
sense. I just thought of them as batteries.
Well, they are batteries, but because they kind of act very similar to the batteries and flying battery, the expert level. I always kind of confuse these when I first started
Yeah.
drafting TASs. Of course, now I don't, because they're completely different levels, even if they have a similar concept. But still, like when I was first working on this levels, they would always be like, "Which one is this?" But yeah, a lot of really cool movement to skip certain boxes or use certain boxes for as long as possible or whatever. And we also have these things that we first saw in Construction Conundrum.
The big blocks that you can dash into.
Yeah, and you can move them. We're gonna basically avoid. most
Yeah,
of them.
this level doesn't need anything. You can kind of just walk through here, or at least the first half.
Yeah. What even is a wave dash? And then we're at the long corridor at the end. Nothing really to say here. We're at the end. Just jumping a lot. And any percent task would be like a big speed boost to go through all this, but we can't do that because that card stashes.
Yeah.
Corners are basically flat ground. True. All right. We have toggle theory. If you see
Yes,
that thing to the left, that's going to come up in after this level, but we'll get to that. But yeah, this level is basically dash the level because you have more advanced swap blocks.
There are a few places where you can skip the swap blocks, but a lot of the rooms, there's in some way or another you are forced to use the right amount of swap blocks. That one you can
Yeah.
skip them though. That one's great.
Yeah, but if you do have to use them, there are some times where you can get quite a bit of speed from just using it like once. So that's nice. But yeah, most time the dash saves come from just finding clever ways to skip the level. And then we have the normal one,
we're already
which
done.
is yeah. Okay, so remember when I mentioned that thing in the lobby right before you enter the level? Yeah, we're gonna use that to do crouched 5 tile, so we can climb up here. And then we have Forest Rush. I think that's the same.
Forest Rush is
but-
quite a well optimized level. I think it's at like 6 dashes.
Yeah, the thing about this level is that since the friction is so low, including in the air, jumping repeatedly, bunny hopping can still give you quite a bit of speed. It just takes a while. So sometimes we're going to use that to our advantage just to get decent speed, or we'll use a dash or something to get some speed. But whatever, we'll still be able to keep quite a bit of speed. Like you'll even be able to see it here. Like it's kind of interesting. It's always cool. Like just doing a bunch of bunny hop chains on flat ground helps us keep the speed and also get more speed. So we get quite a bit of speed across gaps really
And that's
easily
also
without any dash.
another thing. That's also one of the few berries we actually get in this TAS.
Yeah, just because the berry path is faster.
And I think more so that it uses fewer dashes.
Probably, yeah. That's probably true. I think that's true in Chromatic Complex foreshadowing. And then we're at the heart. Woo! Cool level.
Alright.
Well, that jump off the jump through is cool. Yeah, if you can cancel your speed by just doing a wall kick off the jump throughs. So that's helpful if you need to stop really quickly but you have a ton of speed. And then we have Synapse. This level is a level.
This might have had one of the worst drafts.
This level is very interesting for multiple reasons, but also because it's a cassette level. Cassette levels are pretty complex, unless you have something to help you with, but even then.
And also, the cassettes in this level specifically do not give you lift boost. So you can't use them to do a cassette jump, whatever it's called.
Cassette boost. Cassoost.
Yes, Cassoost.
But also, there's no there's no like time where it's like some of them are on, some of them are off. They're always on or always off. That's how this level is designed. So you kind of have to route around knowing that all of them are going to be off at some point.
And also, spike climb.
Spike climb. Let's get the thing. We have this thing that was found pretty recently by Math.
Yeah, using a brute forcer, apparently.
Yeah, that was kind of drafted by me originally when I was doing all cats, all challenges, normal SJ, to get that snowman. But Math took one of my route drafts with the stun, improved it a ton, and it ended up being optimal for min dash as well. So ported over here. No, yeah, we mean Math the person,
Yeah,
not the the tasser.
Yeah, Math the person.
Yeah. So thank you to them, because that's a really cool strat. Also, the version that's done here is done without stunning too, so bonus. Yeah, we got Final Room, which is basically just routing a ton. Making sure we get the optimal order of coins. And then we do a death warp here, because it's faster. And it's
those corner grabs are also quite difficult because all of you can't align your subpixels very conveniently.
Starry Ruins. This level is very interesting because we have the teleporters, the portals, and we also have lift boosted things. So you'll see a lot of interesting routing around getting lift boosted and getting portals and fast pedal too.
The portals also give you a slight boost in speed in certain directions, which is used not all that much, but is certainly something to look out for.
Yeah.
And that there is an instance where we can do a spike jump and get the lift boost at the same time. So with most blocks, they only move up 1 pixel per frame, but that one moves multiple within a frame, so we can actually land on the block and get the lift boost.
Yeah, it's a lot of interesting routing in this level. Like right here, you're supposed to usually use these portals, like wave dashing into them to get speed, but we're just like, nope, we don't need to do that. Now we're at the heart. Yeah, there are sometimes cycles depending on the zippers, how nice they want to be to you. We got Attack and Clone. This level is also very interesting. We got the double dash, but we also have many mechanics that allow us to kill Battlein. So we're gonna kill her as fast as possible. I'm kidding, but still.
And we didn't even use the
that,
double dash here.
Yeah,
Useless.
we smuggled that crystal through that thing. Not that that's necessary, but it saves time. So we got the crystals back from that we saw earlier.
From
That's
Midnight
like one of the main
Monsoon.
reasons. Yeah. We're not really gonna have any way to use them like Midnight Monsoon, but we will use them to.
We will use them a bit.
We will use them a lot
Like
to
here.
Yeah.
To use that little explosion to get over.
Yeah, and also just to use as the way to attack Battlein. Because in this level it's Battlein boss, but you can't actually touch her to destroy her. You got to use something else. So Seekers and other kind of explosions are the way to do that. Usually that's through crystals. So we got some interesting routing in order to skip dashes, of course, and we use that puffer as well to get that puffer boost and also leave room. This room's funny.
Yeah. Sadly, that one spawns just 1 pixel too far back, so you have to use a dash the second time round. It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some lift boost from the swap block retracting, so we get some speed. Now we're at the heart. On Buyer Flag.
Oh, now it's Tower XVI.
Tower XGI, this level is spike climb. It's basically the main reason we say dashes here, because there's a lot of spikes and there's a lot of ways to climb. So we spike climb. There's also some ways to avoid dash blocks besides that, but that's like the main thing, just a lot of spike climbs. Or we might use like spiked walls a lot too. We use that. Right about now we have dash blocks that disappear when you use them, so sometimes that's helpful.
Although we do try to avoid making them disappear because that requires a dash.
Yeah, so it's only if like it ends up being beneficial in some other way, or if we have to use them anyways. But still, something to keep note of. Sometimes it helps. We also want to avoid the using these as well, the tile dash crystals.
Although those dash crystals are quite surprisingly not very abusable.
Yeah.
They put spikes all around inside the walls so that you can't just go around the map.
Yeah, and using those crystals also kills you if you try to use a dream block. So that's something you have to be extra careful of.
That's also important.
Yeah, so we got a pretty interesting route in Final Room. Because that's like the main thing with this level, just routing and spike climbs. Still fun to watch though. Now we have Starlight Station.
Alright, and this one actually uses some spinner cycle shenanigans.
Yeah, spinner unload cycles where you don't ever actually stun, but sometimes the way it loads can be a problem, so sometimes you have to wait like a frame or two.
It will be interesting. Like here. This one isn't actually cycle dependent, but it is some spinner shenanigans, which are always fun.
Yeah, if you get enough speed, you can just clip through the spinners. So
This is cycle dependent.
Yeah, pretty cool. We got the zippers here, so we're just gonna wait until we can get a ton of speed from one of them. That was a pretty cool like corner boost with the spinner right there.
We also get a bubble storage over here, but we have to use it immediately just to stop ourselves from dying.
Yeah, would be cool if you can continue that further, but it's fine.
If only.
If only. Might be able to save that dash right there.
Yeah. And then all our problems would be solved.
So I guess if anyone wants to try finding a way to do that, that'd be nice. I doubt it, but you know, there's always a possibility. So yeah, we just got some interesting routing.
And this is the second one. That trick over there was also cycle dependent.
Yeah, it makes sense. Sometimes cameras can be really nice to you and make you disappear off the screen entirely.
There was also a potential strat in this room which started off immediately going out of bounds, but it didn't end up working out. So instead we have this.
Look at the
Intended.
Completely intended routing, I assure you. And that's that level. And then we have raindrops on roses. This top cloud section has some of the most interesting levels in Advanced Lobby, in my opinion. This level is no exception. Because we basically have free jelly as long as we can use some stamina. So we can't really jelly ladder with it. Doesn't really make any sense. That'd be too abusable for this kind of mechanic. But we can still use it to get across a lot of gaps.
What do you mean too abusable?
No, I meant like we just can't just like get infinite height like a jelly ladder, but we can use it a lot for like distances, which is more than enough for this level. Also allows us to do like 6 tiles like easily, so you know.
Even more than that.
Even more than that, but just for comparison.
And here's
another thing to note:
trick used in any percent.
Going to a berry room and then, or going to a berry section of a room and then skipping. Another thing to note is that neutrals are disabled in this level, so sometimes if you want to climb up something like that, wall boosted neutrals are the next best thing, which means like doing a wall boost immediately after climbing, and then if you turn back to the wall, you'll still be a little higher than you were at the start of the climb jump. So sometimes that's happening. It does not really use too much in this level, but I think it's used a bit in the hard side flag of this level. So something just keep note of. We got this thing right here. And now we have that, we're just gonna go back.
And here, that's the case where we use the umbrella for its lift boost.
Yeah.
To do definitely more than a 6 tile. Or at least,
Yeah.
well, it's not necessarily an end tile. It's definitely about as hard.
Yeah. All that so we can just get a key, and also we can go down here now. So unlike any percent where you can skip a couple of keys by stunning, we still need to get a few keys. So get some routing around that. But once we have the keys, we can just continue up to the top. So, you know. still gotta get like I forget how many keys are needed in this level. 4? 2? I forget. I think it's just these 2.
After this, I'm pretty sure it doesn't get any more, because it gets to skip that door.
Yeah, true.
Actually, there might be one more.
No, that we're good. So this is
Oh yeah, this is the last screen.
Yeah, not much to really mention here. Just floating up.
Just having an absolutely swell time.
Yeah. Let's just make overclocking useful anywhere in this map. Yes, overclocking is kind of useful in this map. Mostly because of the grounded wall boost aspect, but still, sometimes having that extra stamina can help.
And now it's time for Call of the Void. This one
0G.
has some very silly dash saves.
As you can see, having 0G and minimum dashes makes for some very unique routing, to say the least.
Yeah. Unique is a way to describe it. Also, someone said 2-minute wait. It's not 2 minutes anymore. It's been improved since then.
Yes, this level
It's
has
less than a minute even.
Yeah. So the thing about this level is similar to like how what's it called again? My brain's not working. Yeah, no, I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
Oh well.
Oh yeah, similar to how I remember. Similar how low G botany has the 2 section with the normal gravity and the outside gravity of low G. This one has very similar, but instead of low G, it's a 0G. So
It's
frictionless, basically.
And around here is where some of the extra silly tricks will come up. So here we're gonna get a really small amount of vertical velocity so that we can just slide off and keep that velocity. So that we can just uncrouch to grab. That saves like 4 dashes. It's so good.
Yeah. 0G is very abusable, and I think that's quite
Yeah.
great.
And here's the
The
manip.
guy, just manipulate.
So, let me tell a story. Once upon a time, okay, that was a great story. It's not 2 minutes. Watch that.
So yeah, the point of that was just to get the position necessary.
Mm. It is a bit disappointing to see so much time being wasted, but oh well.
Sometimes it's worth it, and sometimes you'll see ridiculous waits to get some dash saves.
Oh yeah.
You'll see that later. You'll see that later tomorrow, in fact.
Oh yeah, I had a look at it. It was interesting.
There's quite a few examples of it. But yeah, just you wait. We'll see a couple of those tomorrow, especially in GM.
So now that we're done with that, let's go to something more normal. Also, we
Dusk
slide off
City.
there just for funsies.
Yeah, Dusk City. This level is pretty interesting because it has zipper dream blocks. So a lot of the times we want to use them more as a zipper, but sometimes we have to dash through them for the dream blocks. Sometimes we even have to do that for the lift boost, because you get lift boosts, zipper lift boosts by dashing through them. So it just depends on what exactly you need to use them for. But sometimes you can just kind of skip using them as a dream block and just use them as a normal zipper. Just depends. Like right here. A lot of interesting routing to avoid having to actually dash through them.
A lot of zippers with spikes on top, we can still jump on top of them because of order of operations, and the spikes hitboxes don't always align properly, at least when they're moving.
When they're moving, sometimes how they visually look is not accurate because they usually lag behind a frame. This is true for like most.
They
moving
always lag
objects.
behind by exactly 1 frame.
Yeah, so that's true for like hurt boxes mainly. Sometimes actual hitboxes, but like it's mostly hurt boxes that have that property. So spikes, spinners, dust bunnies as well. Anything that cycles or moves, their hurt box is usually behind by frame. So there's tools like TAS tools that allow us to actually see what they actually are, like in terms of collision. So that's helpful. But that also allows us to abuse quite a few things. Like we see it a lot with like moving blocks with spikes on top. Where you can jump on top of the spikes because they're technically lower by a frame. So that's helpful.
Is there a 100% min dash TAS? I don't think so. Not of Strawberry Jam yet.
Yeah, no. Maybe one day we'll get ARB. We'll do like an ARB version of this. That could be possible, but that's something people are gonna have to decide to do because no one really wants to do it right now. Most people are just kind of focusing on doing semi-restricted and unrestricted instead, just because they're easy to do when you're building off of the already existing TASs. Now we have JavaScript. This level is very interesting because you have to
It's a pun!
Yeah, did you not know that?
No! Oh my
second.
goodness, it's a pun!
Yeah, for JavaScript, the program.
Yeah!
Yeah, but anyways, I knew that immediately when I started the level. When I first played it, I was like, JavaScript, oh, that's
Lucky you!
How'd you not notice that? That's...
Chill.
Alright, anyways, so you saw it a little bit ago. We were too busy focusing on that right there. But basically what happened is we abused a secret in that locked key door, the big one.
Oh yeah, the 9 pixels here, by the way. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go through that, and that's like an intended secret you can do. But you use that to crouch jump and get a ton of speed to skip a dash.
Yeah, I knew that the heart sides are named after fruit. Don't you mock me like that.
Yeah, that camera for that part is kind of weird because I actually don't know why it's like that, but it is kind of weird and it's hard to and you can't really see anything. It's just stuck in that spot. But I assure you, I don't think we actually dash there at all. Can't see it, but you could probably hear it. Maybe I don't know. Slime time. This level was really fun to draft. This was one of my favorites to draft. Yeah, so we got a lot of really cool skips, like right there.
Also, one thing I should mention, this isn't useful at the moment, but later on, it's important to know that you can't demo out of those bubbles normally. You have to do a manual demo.
Yeah, you can't use the demo button. You have to actually manual demo to make it do that. I mean, it still means it's possible, but it just means the formatting of the task looks really weird because you just randomly have like the 4DX or whatever, and it's like, that's weird. But yeah, a lot of this level's dash saves come from interesting routing, but also there's a lot of really precise saves as a result. And so a lot of the times it's also abusing like moon block mechanics. They're right there where you can dash into the spring, get to the other side. Right here, you're just waiting for moon blocks. I could have made that whole wait the same, but I kind of like the thought of the bubbles waiting on them too. But you got this part right here. This was really interesting to TAS because it took a while to get that jump right there over the green spinners to work because I had to find the correct moon block height, but I got it working.
Yeah.
It's a very silly route.
Spike jumps, by the way. Moon block spike jumps.
That's such a bad name. Spike jumps.
It's the perfect name.
I love that though. That's funny. All right, but yeah, we're in the final room now. Yeah, well, a lot of the routing around this level is just moon blocks or falling blocks, abusing what we have there. Got that right there. That's pretty cool.
People are getting quite creative with their own names for that. Apparently, it could also be called a mock mump.
No.
You know, I see the appeal in that. That one's pretty good.
Thinking with portals. this level is has the box, the famous box that you've seen in never in this mode actually.
That you've seen all over the world.
I do know it's used a couple of times in Spring Collab, which is banger. You should play Spring Collab if you haven't, or Claustro at least. It's where that is like one of the main levels that uses boxes. But anyways, they're basically just Theo crystals that break if they hit walls or spinners. And we also have portals. We also have this, so
Yeah.
that's cycle dependent, but you can just kind of fall through that transition.
It's
and
not
then
actually
go back
cycle
to it.
dependent. It has lots of leniency there because we manip the camera earlier.
Oh, I think at one point it was cycle dependent, or at least a version of it was somewhere else. But yeah, there is that trick. You can death warp. It's pretty cool.
As for why there's a room there, who knows?
I think that's just an extension of that room right before you enter that room, if that makes sense, because that room has
Maybe.
a berry. That room has a berry.
Also,
if
you
you
can hit that little button there.
This quickly, that power box right there, that is actually cycle dependent. And by cycle dependent, I mean it's cycle dependent throughout the entire level, not just that one room. It's global
Yeah.
cycle. So
Good thing it's
sometimes
just
can-
that one thing.
Yeah, some that can literally mess up like any task you do this level, because that can sometimes just change if you save like one frame earlier, and it's like, ow, that's fun. So sometimes you have to be wary of that. We got lethal laser laboratory. Not really a whole lot to say for this level, honestly. It's about what you expect. Some cool movement though, like right there.
Also, I was in fact aware that the last level was a Portal reference. Getting mocked.
Did you know Lethal Laser Laboratory was a reference to the fact that it has lethal lasers in its laboratory?
Wow.
It's all in good fun, don't worry. I completely understand how you wouldn't get that, but it's
Fair,
still...
fair. I know it's in good fun, but I need to win the good fun.
Rank good fun? What about rank competitive fun?
Exactly.
Alright, so we have the lab. These are basically just bubbles that teleport you. Not really a whole lot to say about that. There is some cool movement to get to them though, like that spike line. It's also quite a long level. It has like 5 sections. We have the intro section right here. We have the 3 key sections, and then that all have their own gimmicks. And then we have the climb, the end climb section. But actually, kind of a beefy level. Right here we have this one, which is all about plane.
Also, those bubbles, normally when they turn red, they're supposed to kill you when you interact with them again. However, near the end of the level, we actually managed to get our dash back by touching one of the bubbles without dying. And yeah, the TAS did complete Tower XVI.
Did the task complete the Tower XVI? That was
Yeah, that was quite a while
a
ago.
while ago, actually. 10 levels ago or something.
Mm.
This one is all about Snow one as well. Yeah, it's basically just incorporating auto scrollers into this. Still some pretty cool movement to abuse the lift boost or what else you need. And now we got all the keys, and now we can continue to the final section of this map.
And
which
that's
is
where we get the dash back.
A rising lava
The-
section, basically.
It's an interesting fun fact, but what are the other 15 towers?
Alright, and now we're done.
And also you can just slide under those spinners by crouching, because they're perfectly aligned for just standing on the ground.
And then we have the right side down cavern. This one's pretty interesting because it also has quite a few moonblock shenanigans. Usually when there's moonblocks,
Also-
there's gonna be shenanigans.
I have something to say. this level might have one of the stupidest hitboxes ever. There are these two spinners that have just two completely random pixels in the middle of nowhere that serve zero purpose.
I think I think those are meant, like, I'm talking about like game intended mechanics. I think those were intended to be D-cheese, like the like D-cheese things, but still they're really annoying. There's so there's like basically spinners that are like one pixel in size, but they're used to like on corners or something. It's really fucking annoying. But
Yeah, right
we're
there.
still able to,
That's where they were.
right there. But you can still like go. You can still avoid them anyways. There's still some pretty cool movement though, like right here. This was a pretty recent dash save. You go up here.
There's
to
like
this
5
area.
dash saves in one.
Yeah, it saves a ton because the alternative is like a
It's an
ultra chain.
Jinx.
But yeah, this was another level that I drafted. Kind of similar to what it's right now. Kind of similar to what the draft was, but quite a bit of has been saved as well. So pretty happy. Always to see that. Always happy to see that.
Yeah.
We got descending section. Falling blocks upside down means it's moving upwards basically. So get height lift boost. Make that big jump at the end. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. This last room had to be resynced because it didn't have a hyper into it, and it actually ended up being faster.
Jellyfish Sanctum. You got the platform jellies.
Yeah. Sadly, we don't get to smuggle many of them, because this map was intended to stop you from smuggling them. And they actually did a good job of it.
With these giant ass barriers.
Yeah.
You've heard of a comically large spoon? You've heard of comically large spoonful? This is comically large jelly barriers.
We do get to do some shenanigans, though.
I mean, if you want to de-cheese having to smuggle jellies, that'd be the perfect way of doing it. Even if it looks weird. But also in this level, it kind of works with the aesthetic, so it's not that big of a deal.
But we do get to smuggle a jelly over here.
For a little...
Only for a bit. But it saves a lot of dashes.
Yeah. You can do a little
double
platform jelly.
Platform jelly smuggle.
Yeah. Jelly ladder with platform jelly. It's pretty funny. But yeah, for the most part, this level is, again, about what you would expect. I mean, it has some cool routing to save dashes and that little smuggle, but for a level with jellies, it doesn't really have that much interesting going on. There's that, because platform jellies give you lift boost, so...
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just make the entire map a jelly barrier? I mean, maybe. Tectonic trenches. This one's good. This one abuses the hell out of jellies.
Yeah. Get ready for literally like jelly ladder to the level. You have like multiple jellies per screen, and you can smuggle pretty much all of them into next rooms.
Yeah, after this point, we smuggle a jelly into every room.
The platform jellies are not blue, they're more purple. Like light purple.
Some of them also don't have tentacles, but those ones you can't grab.
Yeah. If you're like colorblind, you probably won't be able to see it. So I completely understand if you missed that, but still, they're different colors technically. Well, ATPX, you missed this level, the start of it at least.
Yeah, but don't worry, there's still plenty to go.
This is not colorblind friendly. Oh no. I mean, to be fair, there's only platform jellies and jellyfish
but also,
sanctum, so you know
the
it's hard
colors
to
are
tell.
weird.
Yeah. Then again,
And
I don't really know what other colors they could have used. If they use like red jellies, that would be confused for the for the bounce
also you did
jellies.
miss jelly.
They're seen in exactly. Yeah. Jellyfish Sanctuary, you missed that. But you have this level anyway, so it's level 4. At least when it comes to TAS. Like that, look at that. You smuggle it next to the cycles. That's cool.
You know, I
And we
think
have
that's something
camera
we're
shenanigans.
forgetting.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like we're supposed to be
Yeah.
doing something here. Oh well.
Yeah. Was it lore relevant? Who knows?
Why are these like random lasers though? Like what's that?
I don't know. They're awfully rude.
All right. For real though, it's like that's like a pretty common thing that's done in 90% too, where you skip having to do the battle and boss, which is helpful. And then we have Undergrowth. This level is really cool.
Yeah, it recently went on to 20x.
Yeah. It's like the climb from Spring Collab. This is like the comparison I love using. It's very much like the climb from Spring Collab, but it's a lot more like, I don't know how to describe it, but it is very similar to that. Maybe a little like easier, depending on how you feel the difficulty. But anyways, yeah, we got a lot of we got a lot of somewhat intended movement at the start, but then it stops being intended very quickly.
You'll have to see it.
Especially in the later parts of this level, Moonblock shenanigans comes up. So, you know. We also skip doing this room remotely intendedly by doing dropsels. So, that's what I'm going to call that kind of spinnergat. Dropsels. Fun name. Alright, we got a key cycle here. And then we have crouched bunny hops through here, which is interesting when dashes. We have a low G, kind of like low G botany for this section. So we can just kind of jump through the place, and then we're back to normal gravity. A lot of spike climbs here. Little thing right there to get that platform off to the side, so we can grounded wall boost, crouched coyote jump. Get this key right here. It is pretty annoying to TAS anything with moonblock cycles, because if you save like a little bit in each room with the moonblock cycles, you can lose it like immediately because of worse cycles. Or you might get a better cycle, but that's not usually what happens.
Not allowed.
Got some pretty cool movement here. Who even needs stamina anyways?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't use stamina, so...
And then
Are we
we're
going?
done.
Oh, we're here.
We're
For
at the
another very annoying dash.
Okay, so this dash has a bit of history to it. Unlike the Loopy Lagoon one, which is like you have to in the lobby, this one is so close to being savable, but there's so many things that prevent it from being savable. It's so annoying. Like people had actually literally tried for like hours to try and save that, but everything comes up just a bit too short. It's so painful. You hate to see it.
Yeah, this level was optimized quite a lot.
Yeah, especially by you. This is like your thing.
Yeah, it kind of was. With that one, that's a delayed ultra into a big corner boost setup.
Yeah.
And it's possible by like a pixel.
This level gets very interesting in the later parts, but at the start it's kind of normal. Of course, we still get quite a few huge skips because, of course. But you know, it's not like too dissimilar for what you'd see. But it very quickly becomes that, like especially in later on in the level, you'll see. Wait for a little bit because of a cycle.
Yeah. Cycles are our worst enemy.
Right
No,
here.
not particularly.
That's-
It's not too
That's
bad.
where that cycle matters. Right there with the bees. Bees. Get some lift boost from there.
Yeah, I think this level did get the most dash saves since its draft. I think around almost 100 even.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 100 plus. This was a very fun level to draft, don't get me wrong, but I can I will say there were some things that I just didn't know how to do.
18.
So
It's less than half of what it used to be.
yeah. Alright. You can kind of see
Yeah, and also...
the speed you get from the bunny hopping in this flag. In fact, it'll be very helpful right here because you can get a ton of speed right here.
And also, earlier you might have noticed the demo out of one of the ninja bubbles. I don't know what they're actually called.
I think that actually might be its name.
Awesome. I'm so good at naming things.
I just call them the force fast bubbles, or just fast bubbles.
Fair.
But yeah, anyways, you kind of saw it at the beginning of Synapse, but that little death warp was to save a dash. But also really helpful because those like cassette swap blocks are the variant where it stays at that position until you dash again. So it's a thing that death warp actually helps a lot. Got some pretty interesting movement here to skip having to do a lot of this flag. Ninja Kiwi. This flag is kind of boring in comparison to the rest of it because it's not really too dash savvy. This one, however.
Oh yeah, this one's great. You see, the first mistake was giving the TAS a jelly. And the second mistake was putting blocks where there aren't jelly barriers.
Can't really smuggle it any further. It'd be cool
Yeah,
if you could
'cause
smuggle a jelly into here, but still.
Yeah.
This
It would also be cool if you could smuggle one of these out.
oh yeah. This flag is dashless, so nice.
Yeah. Well, except for the first one, there was a wall boost.
True, yeah.
Well, no, a wall bounce.
And then this flag is interesting because there's that Kevin right there.
Yeah, we do need to wait a bit for it to line up properly. And also, we managed to smuggle our first thing in the Mango Mesa. It's just a time stop, but you'll notice that those little rubble things don't fall. It also makes the cycle line up really well, which is was lovely when tassing this.
Yeah, and then you do this little skip to get up here. Pretty cool. And then we have Jellyfish Sanctum flag. Pretty silly.
Yeah.
Really
This is where Mango Mesa gets good.
Yeah. So you'll see we have a jelly. And remember how
Yeah.
Jellyfish Sanctum was really good at keeping us from just smuggling them?
Yeah.
How about we just ignore that?
Oopsie
So now we have a jelly.
daisies.
A platform
Yeah.
jelly, in fact.
It
And
saves like
doesn't
60
mean-
dashes.
Yeah. And it's a platform jelly, so we can just jump on it. And it doesn't really work well. You kind of saw that right there. It doesn't really work well with the upside down mechanic.
Yeah.
So it looked very silly.
I don't know what you mean. 60 sounds super reasonable. I mean, the first time round, it just had the regular jelly, but then when that saved 50, and this saves another 9, so 59.
So,
but close enough.
Yeah, like 50, 60, somewhere in that range, somewhere close to that.
I think this is.
so yeah.
That was the single biggest dash count save in a single commit.
Yeah. There's also the largest time save, which is in an unrestricted file, but that's not the same thing, so I'm not really
Yeah.
talk about much.
And that's kind of because in unrestricted you're bound to get ridiculous time saves if you manage to cut a freeze.
Yeah, true. I don't even know what the largest time save or time loss would be in this, in restricted or even semi-restricted. Maybe core problem semi-restricted because I had like a couple of stuns in there, but that's probably about it. No, it might be something else. Anyways, so yeah, this jelly is very powerful for a lot of reasons. As you can see, just having the platform there helps a lot, but even just the jelly without it is insane because you can do a lot that you can normally not do without a jelly. So a couple dashes here and there, but it saves a ton.
What's the largest time save in restricted? I reckon when the any percent strat in raindrops on roses was added, because that wasn't in there before.
Yeah, it could. I think. Yeah, I don't know, actually.
No, it was probably one of the improvements to the Call of the Void float manip.
Probably, yeah, that'd be good.
Because it used to be like almost 3 minutes long.
Yeah, that might be it then. Well, I don't know. Well, that's something we're gonna have to look at, and I don't feel like looking at it. But then we have this, which is very silly.
Yeah. The death plane is lower than you think.
The camera just looks all wonky, and this is kind of where our journey with this jelly ends.
Yeah, sadly. There is a strat that makes it possible to smuggle it even further, but it's only semi-restricted. There is currently no known method to get it past here, regular, restricted.
Yeah, so
oh well.
Unfortunate, but hey, these last three flags actually, have some pretty interesting stuff going on in them right here.
The jelly served us well.
Jelly served us well.
I said that at the same time I saw someone's chat message. See, now they're gonna think I'm plagiarizing. It's horrible.
Plagiarism.
Gerald, apparently.
Got some pretty interesting movement right there. And we got that spring hit into corner boost. And then we have the Call of the Flag Void, which is, you know.
Call of the Flag Void.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did. At least I would have an excuse, because it's 5 a.m. where I am.
I mean, no, I just mess up words sometimes.
Real.
Call the Flag Void, that's very funny.
But that's the end of the TAS.
That's the end of the advanced lobby TAS.
And the final dash count is 799.
Yeah. So, we're not done with Strawberry Jam all levels minimum dashes, but this is the end of today's showcase because this test is so long that of course we split it into 2 days. So we did beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and tomorrow we're going to be doing expert and grandmaster, which are very, very fun to watch. I promise you'll enjoy it. So stay tuned for tomorrow. Any closing thoughts you want to say?
Right. If any of you have any ideas for dash saves that you think should be in there, join the Discord.
This is going to be on YT.
It's very cool.
I think it will probably be on YouTube, hopefully.
Yeah. Anyways, I need to go sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was barely able to stay awake during this thing. Bye.
Good night. Have a good night. So yeah, I'm just going to stick around for a moment longer. Just to say, hope everyone enjoyed. I'm not going to be commentating tomorrow. It was just kind of a thing where I commentated for the entirety of the day, but not tomorrow. But I will probably be in chat, like answering questions if anyone wants to ask any tomorrow. But thank you all for watching. It was very fun to finally get to showcase this after a year of working on stuff. So yeah, just stay tuned for tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.